Today's matchup between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Boston Red Sox is brought to you by John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer. Run with us. It is atypically chilly down here in Florida, as today the Red Sox are on the road at spring training in Clearwater, ready to square off with the Phillies, who last year, of course, surged all the way to Game 6 of the World Series. With that, we say hello and thanks for joining us. Alongside Kevin Youkilis, Mike Monaco with you. Jemai Webster's bundled up. He joins us in a moment. And Nick Pivetta starts today. But after him, it's Brian Bayo in his spring training debut. Of course, slowed down a little bit behind schedule. Some arm tightness early in camp. We get to watch him, and we know what he was in the second half of his rookie season. Our John Deere spring training spotlight.
Yeah, Bayo was impressive in the second half. The first half, a little shaky. The walks were increasing a little bit, wasn't commanding the strike zone. But that happens as a young player. You see a lot of players that you look up to, and sometimes you look intimidated at these hitters instead of going at them. As you can see in the second part of it, he went at the hitters more, cut down on his walks, and therefore the ERA went down as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of soft contact against him as well. That great five-start stretch. He was excellent in September. So he follows Nick Pivetta, and the Red Sox go up against the Phillies, and look who's here. They're under the direction, of course, of Dave Dombrowski, catching up pregame with Alex Cora and Red Sox assistant GM Eddie Romero. First pitch on the way from Florida.
Say what you want.
Red Sox Baseball on NESN is brought to you by Subaru of New England and the redesigned 2023 Subaru Ascent. Mass Mutual, an official partner of the Boston Red Sox. And by buyatoyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit buyatoyota.com. Great rendition of the national anthem here in Clearwater, Florida, where the Red Sox are on the road down at spring training and ready to go against the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's get to the Red Sox lineup, brought to you by buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals. Greg Allen leads off in center. Nico Goodrum's the shortstop. Jorge Alfaro does the catching, batting third. Powerful Daniel Polk is the cleanup man and first baseman. Narciso Crook roams in right. Christian Koss is at third. Ryan Fitzgerald is the left fielder, batting seventh. And Ronaldo Hernandez in the 8th spot is the DH, with Nick Sogard batting ninth at second. Against the Phillies starting pitcher, 27-year-old Luis Ortiz, former first-round pick in the Rangers in 2014. 14 career innings in the big leagues, claimed off of waivers from the Giants in November.
And here's your Phillies defense. At third base, Jim Haley. At shortstop, Dalton Guthrie. At second base, Brian Stott. At first base, Rhys Hoskins. At left field, Weston Wilson. In center field, Edmundo Sosa. In right field, Nick Castellanos. On the bump, Luis Ortiz. And doing the catching, Max McDowell.
The umpires are brought to you by buyatoyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Phil Cuzzy is the crew chief, and DJ Rayburn calling the balls and strikes.
Weather forecast, we told you, atypically chilly when we got here. It was really cold when we got out of our cars after the commute, but it is warming up, Uke.
Yes, it is. It's getting over 60 degrees for some good old baseball here.
Off we go as Ortiz fires to Greg Allen atop this Red Sox lineup for Alex Cora that doesn't have a lot of the names that figure to be regulars when the Sox open their season less than 2 weeks from now. Allen lifts this in the air to deep left center, and Edmundo Sosa's there for out number 1. Warm enough now we can open the windows in the booth.
Yeah, he got a good pass to that ball right there too. The wind is blowing straight in now. It was blowing out a little bit to right, but coming in, so going to be hard to hit one out.
Brings up Nico Goodrum. Yeah, what is the wind normally like here? It's normally to right?
Usually blows out to right from past experience here. Got a great crowd.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's the rare red-on-red matchup.
Indeed. Spring training. It was like when the Yankees and Tigers were playing against each other. It was hard to tell who was who.
0-2. And Goodrum strikes out looking on 3 pitches. First K for Ortiz. And there's 2 gone in the Red Sox first.
Yeah, it looked like an 0-2 changeup. Got him on that one looking. Ortiz will throw the fastball, slider, curve, and change.
Told you limited work in the big leagues for him over parts of 3 years. First with the Orioles, then last year a half-dozen appearances for the Giants. Faces Jorge Alfaro. (2-0) on Alfaro. Alex Cora was watching Alfaro in the World Baseball Classic. He was behind the plate for Team Colombia. They've been working on getting him back to a one-knee stance with his catching. Last year he was with the Padres and he was not using the one-knee stance as a catcher for them.
Yeah, Jason Varitek has bought into it, and it's pretty fun to watch how he works with the guys and utilizes a lot of his past knowledge while utilizing a lot of the new stuff. And so I think the adaptability of Tech allows a lot of catchers to go, okay, if he believes in it, I believe in it.
3-1. And Alfaro resists and works a 5-pitch walk and a 2-out base runner for the Red Sox here in the first. It'll be interesting to see if Alfaro is able to grab a roster spot when the Red Sox break camp, as Connor Wong comes back from that hamstring issue. He is doing better and progressing, but perhaps it's Alfaro who might have the inside track on that position.
Yeah, time is getting closer and closer, and you got to get your at bats. You got to be ready physically for the season. So sometimes you got to take precautions and make sure that somebody is healthy to join a club. But Alfaro, the way he's been swinging the bat and the lefty heavy lineup, might be a good addition in there.
He's at first for Daniel Palka, non-roster invite of the Red Sox. A couple of years in the big leagues with the White Sox in 2018 and 2019. Christian Arroyo was with us in the booth yesterday. If you missed that and you asked Arroyo for a scouting report on Palka, he said one word: beefy.
Oh, go
Palka
down and get
lines it foul the opposite way.
Those are some of my favorite swings. A little bit out in front and just try to slap it the other way.
We had fun watching the World Baseball Classic last night, and
what
a lot of swings like that on Team USA.
Yeah, I mean, you watch Goldschmidt, Arenado. I mean, just really good at bats.
1-2. Lined again, foul.
Yeah, right there too. The fastball at 94. as a hitter, when you're facing somebody that has a slider and a good changeup, I think that's the key is, staying back enough to get to those off-speed pitches and not swing through them, but knowing that you can foul off that fastball.
So you got to be comfortable being somewhat in between.
Yeah, if as a hitter, if you're comfortable in knowing that the fastball can't beat you in the way where it's going to go by your barrel where you're going to whiff rather than hitting it late. So I can hit it deep and get it into foul territory. It's just a positive feel in the box to know that, hey, because his slider or changeup is something I need to recognize, but usually it's not a good pitch. If it's up in the zone and I'm on time and not out in front too much, that's when I can get a better swing on it. But knowing that fastball can come a little deep and you can get a piece of it for foul gives you a lot of options.
3-2, runner goes, and Palka takes ball 4. Good plate appearance from Daniel Palka, and back-to-back 2-out walks worked by Red Sox hitters against Ortiz here in the first.
Yeah, just going away. Good job of laying off. I mean, there was a close one there to Palka, and he took it. But man, I love the swings, like just the contact down the line. I mean, that just shows he's kind of locked in, seeing the ball a little bit, not jumpy on the off speeds.
So 2 on for Narciso Crook, 5-hitter in right field. Another non-roster invite for the Red Sox. You saw his numbers in AAA last year in the Cubs organization, for whom Crook made his big league debut last year with 8 ABs. Yeah, that was quite a WBC game yesterday.
I mean, that atmosphere being in Miami, it was electric, and I can't imagine. It looked sold out. And it's just when that ball got hit, it was loud.
Yeah,
just loud noise from the bat, and then the crowd just got into it, and Venezuela was pumped in that big inning they had, and WBC is great. Just an awesome event that Major League Baseball's put together.
1-2 on Crook. And Trey Turner, Philadelphia Philly.
Yeah, they got Schwarber too on that team.
JT Realmuto.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys too. I mean, that are missing, that are a big part of their organization and how they got to the World Series last year.
Got to Game 6 of the World Series after 87 wins in the regular season. 2 on, 2 out, top of the first for the Red Sox. And the 1-2 to Crook. Cut on and missed. Ortiz strikes him out. Fans 2 in the first, and the Sox leave 2.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Thompson. Bryson Stott leads off at second. Rhys Hoskins is at first. Nick Castellanos is in right. Edmundo Sosa is the center fielder. Dalton Guthrie, the shortstop. Jim Haley bats 6th at third. Weston Wilson, Max McDowell, and Cody Roberts 7, 8, and 9 against Nick Pivetta. Saw the numbers for Pivetta. Entering his 3rd full year with the Red Sox, 33 starts last season and 63 starts in total over the last 2 years. Jemai asked Alex Cora earlier today about Pivetta, and Cora said he was good his last time out. And one of the big stories with Pivetta has been he's working on a new breaking ball here in spring training with a different shape and speed. He's throwing it harder, and he wants it to be in the zone longer at that harder speed, not to be out of the zone, then in the zone, then back out of the zone, just to be in the zone the entire time.
Yeah, that's the big thing too, is also, reducing that hard hit percentage. Last year was a tough one.
It's climbed, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's climbed up a little bit in the hard, hit percentage, indicative of the numbers from last year. I think one of the big things is when he feeds off that knuckle curve and he can spot that up where he wants it, it just plays that fastball that has a little carry on it. he's got good extension too. I mean, he's in the 80th percentile of that, or sorry, I mean even higher than that, 86th percentile with extension. So that means he's getting out there, getting closer, to the batter. Now it's about just getting it in the zone to finish.
Here comes his 3-2 to Stott, and it's the fastball. So when you say extension, you're saying basically from the mound to the plate where that pitch is getting released.
It is released, correct.
Alex Cora has always loved the fastball for Nick Pivetta and always raved about that pitch for him.
Yeah, he's got good carry on it. It plays up right there above the barrel.
Right on cue.
There you go. That's big league right there. All right, the Red Sox defense. We got Koss at third base, Goodrum at shortstop, Sogard at second base, Palka at first, Fitzgerald on the left, Allen in center, Crook in right, Pivetta on the bump, and Alfaro doing the catching.
Just Daniel is how they had him at first base.
Oh,
I like that. Drop a first name on him.
Daniel.
Not Beefy.
Daniel. Danny boy.
Oh.
That's all I could remember. Danny boy, Caddyshack.
This is Rhys Hoskins, and he laces one. Left field. Goodbye. Solo shot on a bullet off Pivetta, and the Phillies strike first in the first.
Well, there was one that easily cut through the wind. He absolutely crushed that ball. Wow. He got the heater right down the middle. That's that spot, right? Man, just turned on that and hit it right through that wind.
105 miles an hour off the bat of Rhys Hoskins.
He's got the pop. They got a lineup that has a lot of pop in it.
Hoskins had 30 home runs last year. And here's Nick Castellanos, who only had 13 in year one with the Phillies, after signing with them ahead of last season off the All-Star year in 2021 with the Reds. 2-0.
And this is a big part of Nick Pivetta just getting back to being, in that groove, is landing that curveball for strikes a little bit more. The fastball right there down the middle, I don't care what the carry is. When it's at that height, guys are going to get that and blast it. Just hitting those locations a little more with the fastball, not getting those big misses up. Getting bad swings like that right there. But when he has that ability to use that curveball effectively, where he's, getting it over for, strike one, and then just burying it where it looks like it's in the zone and drops out, that 12-6 hammer, it's great. There's that slider. Because if he can play with those two pitches right there, utilize the fastball, keep it at the level you want, spot it up, then get that slider that has great vertical break down.
No kidding. 2-2. Fouled away. A lot more vertical than horizontal with that slider he threw 2 pitches ago.
Correct. And right there too, that pitch is just in the inner half at the height that you just don't want it. A little bit higher. That's where you can get the swing and miss, get a pop up.
Two again, and a roller foul. Talked about the faster curveball, something Pivetta picked up in the offseason working at Driveline. Goes to the fastball and strikes out Castellanos. Second K of the inning for Nick Pivetta.
Two down, Nick. Yeah, that's good. That's a good heater, and it had a little cut to it right there. I don't know if he's trying to do that or not, but right there, that fastball with his carry, and that vertical break that stays on point at the height, that's where he wants that pitch.
Maybe this will be the third out. Edmundo Sosa is the batter. Pivetta was on his way to the dugout.
That was pretty funny. But right there, that curveball, you know, getting a guy that's a free swinger out and early, that's the location you want it. It's got a little cut on it right there. You know, sometimes that happens too. You just get around a little bit. I like it though.
And on that pitch that had the cut, he had quickened his tempo in the delivery. Not a hesitation piece like Eck used to call it for Eovaldi, but
right, went quick.
Little trickster.
That's what you got to do now. You know, you can't have two, like, you know, rock the baby and all those other things. So sometimes you got to quick pitch.
Full wide 1-2 bounced in to Sosa. Sosa got traded to the Phillies from the Cardinals last year. He swung it well with Philadelphia in a small sample size. And they're giving him some run in center field here in camp, a position he's hardly played in his life. 2-2. And a full count from Pivetta. 96 that time.
Yeah, judging by the past few balls that have been on the outside part, I think he's just getting around a little bit. The ones inside aren't moving like that, but the ball on the outer third to the corner on the four seam are cutting a little bit.
3-2. Tip foul by Sosa away from Alfaro. One of the things Alex Cora said this morning about Nick Pivetta was that last time out the fastball usage was great, and in the spots that he used it, they were very pleased with that as well.
Timeout right there
from the batter, and the signal from the home plate umpire different than I've ever seen before.
Good hand signal.
On the ground to short, Nico Goodrum comes up with it and throws out Sosa. Hoskins a homer. The Phillies lead after 1.
We got a flat tire. We pull over, it's super dark. We're able to reach out to our family.
Sox coming up in the second inning, and just back to that timeout signal from home plate umpire DJ Rayburn. We loved this because he gave the signal so definitively with those two fists together that it was the hitter who called time. Every little bit helps as we go through all these new rules together. Christian Costco's first pitch swinging to start the second, back to the wall and off the top of the wall. Cos has a first pitch, a leadoff double for the Sox in the second.
I'm guessing on a normal day with good wind here, that ball's gone. But wow, that is so unlucky right there. You know, got the slider, good short stroke there, put his head down and run knowing, hey, that wind's blowing in pretty hard. Comes up with that double on the ambush.
Ryan Fitzgerald's first pitch swinging as well to second, and Bryson Stott throws him out. Useful out, cost to third with one down.
You know, those are the bats too that Alex Cora likes to see, you know, from a guy like Fitzy. Hey, he gives you that pitch, you got a chance to move him over, get him over.
Brings up Ronaldo Hernandez, DH in the 8th spot. Yeah, Alex Cora talked pregame about the lineup, and one of the things he just said about the offense overall is we're going to grind more and we're going to swing less than we have the last few years.
Yeah, they got a bunch of guys that can, you know, control the strike zone, not get outside of it. I think Yoshida is going to be one of those too. I mean, he's been hit by pitch.
Yeah, it got Ronaldo Hernandez on a pitch that ran in. Alex Cora will trudge out to check on the catcher, and the Sox will have him at the corners.
Not a fun one right there, especially as a catcher, because looked like it hit the back elbow. Let's check it out. Yep, that forearm right there. On a cool day like that, it's gonna tighten up a little bit too, so hopefully it got more bone than that muscle in there. It's not a fun day behind the dish. We have to throw the ball a lot.
So here's Nick Sogard, second baseman in the 9th spot for the Red Sox, and he takes ball 1.
Good take right there. That's a borderline pitch where I think Eck wants that one. Got to have it. And as a hitter, you're like, good call, DJ. Keep that ball down all day.
Attaboy. Attaboy, Blue.
You're my boy, Blue.
1-0 on the ground. Foul. You think Sogard's given some pretty good at-bats when you've seen him in big league games?
Yeah, I mean, few at-bats I've seen him. Few plays out there in the field. Yeah, I like what I see. Good little scrappy player.
Saw his numbers last year between AA and AAA.
I mean, that's one of the keys too when you're in camp is, hits are great, but the coaches are watching how you go about it. Are you a tough out? They want to see guys that are tough outs, that they're spitting on the first pitch. They're not rolling over that into a double play. They got a plan. They go up there and know what the pitcher's got and what they're trying to do in the situation of the game. Coaches really focus on that more than mechanics or anything else.
1-2 from Ortiz on the ground, left side, base hit, 2-strike RBI single, Nick Sogard, and the Red Sox tie this game in the second.
Yeah, and as you said, it's been showing a lot of good at-bats. It's been fun to watch him, and in that situation too, taking the ball the other way, getting the fastball up and out over the plate, staying through it as it runs, and just hitting that hole. And we talked about it earlier, it's like, take what they give you.
Yeah.
You don't have to swing as hard as you can every single time.
25-year-old Sogard delivers. Now the lineup flips over back to Greg Allen.
We talk about all the time, there's a time and place. You can take your shots. If there's a pitcher that matches up well and you think that's your time in a hitter's count where you feel like going deep or even early, take your A-hack.
That's why it was so fun for me just watching the World Baseball Classic with you and others yesterday, because you were just marveling at some of the swings from some of the game's biggest stars, but the way that they were in the moments when they're not hitting home runs, the Goldschmidts and the Arenados.
Yeah, Arenado with 2 strikes just peppered it down. I mean, literally on command when I was talking about it, and he does it. It was great.
Allen on the ground to first. Hoskins waited on it and flips to Ortiz. For out number 2, Hernandez to third, Sogard to second.
But for me, like when I hear guys saying, well, you got to drive the ball, you have to drive it. You have to drive. It's like, I get it. But if you go look at stats, you go look at how many hits you have a year, you're getting base hits a lot more than you're driving the ball. Yes, every at bat, it'd be great if you could drive the ball every hit. But it's an excuse for me. If you're saying, oh no, but that's not our plan. I was like, go look at the best of the best that are on Team USA right now, and they put together good at bats. Sometimes it's driving the ball, but a lot of times it's taking what they're given, hitting the ball the other way, getting the base hits when they can.
I would have liked to play for Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic and listen to you, Brad Osmus, and Ian Kinsler.
We can convert you.
And
we got a rabbi.
Please give me some athletic ability, hand-eye coordination, bat-to-ball skills. This is Nico Goodrum, 2 in scoring position with the 2 outs against Luis Ortiz. Misses with a fastball.
Yeah, Nico. Watching Nico in the cage it was probably like 2 weeks ago now. I'll tell you what, from the left side, when he stays quiet and through it, I mean, this guy he's strong. He's got to stay quiet with that body.
He trickles this one softly to Hoskins, who flips, and the inning is over. But Nick Sogard ties the game for the Red Sox in the second.
Imagine yourself in a new toy.
On-field access and more. Plans start at 20 games, and for more info, visit redsox.com/premium. Red Sox fans in the building in Clearwater, 2 hours away from Fort Myers and JetBlue Park. Bottom of the second on the way.
It used to be the interleague rivalry, the Phillies. We used to always go down to Philly. back then it was always like, why aren't we playing the Mets? The Mets weren't as good, but somehow we always got the Phillies, and they had that great run of talent in interleague.
Did you fuel the rivalry?
Oh yeah. Or it was just maybe just the energy levels of Phillies fans.
Were they among the harshest you faced?
They were harsh for both teams, which was even funnier.
Just going after Ryan Howard.
Yeah, there's a lot of passion for sports in the city of brotherly love.
Really good curve there from Nick Pivetta.
Yeah, early in the account, I mean, to me, that is one of the things that will set him apart, is if he can get that curveball. I mean, most guys don't want that curveball to hit, but if he can throw that in the strike zone a lot more.
Is facing Dalton Guthrie leading off for the Phillies in the 5 spot. Their shortstop made his big league debut last year, was on their roster in the NLDS, and one of 5 guys for really 2 roster spots on the big league club these next couple weeks. Fastball again, and Guthrie pops it up.
Uh-oh.
Into the blue sky in front of home plate, and Christian Koss hangs onto it, colliding with Aquaman.
Thank God he didn't have his trident. That could have got real ugly. He hit Alfaro so hard they knocked the pitch comm off too.
And Alfaro barely staggered.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough one for a catcher too, because you're going into a blind spot there. But I think Alfaro knew right away that ball was out far for Koss to get it. But great hustle there from Guthrie.
Love that base running.
That is a ball player right there.
Here's Jim Haley, non-roster invite. Last year AAA in the Rays organization, and he takes strike 1. You said uh-oh right away on that pop-up.
That thing was so high, and just judging by Alfaro and like the way he was looking at it, I was like, oh no. And a lot of times you get worried there on the pitcher's mound, because when the first baseman and third baseman, the hard part of that on the mound is when you start changing your elevation of your feet. It's just a weird feeling, because you're looking up and you're almost better just running to that spot and kind of feeling it out, because it's just a weird feeling to go up the mound while you're still trying to look and focus on the ball.
Pavetta's 1-2, fouled back. Yeah, so the spring training rivalry, though, between these teams a little bit different.
A little different. I don't know if there is rivalries in spring training. Well, sorry, the Twins. The Twins and Red Sox.
The Cup,
huge.
baby.
The Cup. I apologize to the Mayor's Cup. Is it still called the Mayor's Cup?
I believe so.
You gotta look that one up.
Chairman's Cup.
Chairman. Oh, they changed it. It's gotten even bigger.
Got to get your civic designations
Chairman's of the Board Cup.
Pivetta winds, and a 1-2. Sliced foul. How was your drive up here today?
It was electric.
Do you have a Tesla?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in a rental. Yeah, that was electric. So it was electric. Literally.
We're gonna up onto.
Yeah, had all kinds of crazy things on,
Electric Avenue.
A lot of fun things on.
Cut and a miss. And Haley strikes out on a fastball at 95, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Nick Pivetta.
Haley giving him a tough at bat. But yeah, that fastball away is cutting. I love it. I don't know if he's trying to do it or not, but to the glove side, away from righties, it is just, and that's where you're seeing these swings where they're missing on that outer part. If he can keep throwing that consistently, I like that little weapon he has.
His normal movement profile with his 4-seam fastball, does it typically have cutting movement like that?
No, it doesn't. I mean, it has less horizontal movement than most. But it has more carry on the vert, so which means it plays up a little bit. So as a hitter at the top of the zone, you're gonna have to get on top of it a little more. It's above league average in that, but horizontal movement not as much. But with that right there, I mean, that's liking that.
Well, Pavetta's got 2 outs and now facing Weston Wilson, non-roster invite left fielder. Cuts through there and it's 2-1. Another good fastball.
Yeah, in the old school method, it was called life. Just has a little life on it. Now it can be measured. Yeah, you see there the fastball, moving in.
Cut and a miss again on a fastball away at 96, and this fastball looks pretty good for Nick Pivetta.
Yeah, when he's living up there at 96 miles per hour, it's getting by you. Staying above the barrel.
2-2 hung on to by Alfaro. 96 again, and 1-2-3 in the second for Nick Pivetta.
Jorge Alfaro, guys, signed a minor league deal with the Sox in January, a career .257 hitter. He played all winter, and then most recently for Team Colombia in the World Baseball Classic, going 4 for 5, 2 doubles and a home run. Now that he's back, Red Sox manager Alex Cora says he can slow things down. Talking about his work behind the plate last season in San Diego, he went back to the traditional catcher's crouching stance. Red Sox and Jason Varitek getting him back to that one knee fundamentals, and they certainly like this guy. His receiving has been great. He's been a big target for pitchers. They like throwing to him as well. Good footwork as well. Alex Cora says so far so good, and the bat, it plays as well, is what the manager is saying. And guys, he's making a push really to make this roster out of spring. Just about 2 weeks left, and so far he's on the fast track.
Well, you said, Uke, that when he makes contact, he does damage.
Yeah, I mean, he's got pop. I mean, he showed it in the WBC. We saw it yesterday. He got that breaking ball, took a nice swing at it. When I say nice, it's just a little easier. When you overswing on curveballs and breaking balls, you tend to roll over or get a little too long with the swing and get beat in lazy fly balls.
Saw that Alfaro walked his first time today, back in the first. He's now facing a new pitcher for the Phillies, the sidewinding Trey Cobb. Ties up Alfaro on a sinker running in.
Yeah, and right there, that ball just chases you in. When you get a sidearm submariner as a right-hander, you got to set your sights out over the plate, leave anything in or third because it's going to run in.
And then you get the frisbee down there.
Yeah, and I'm a big thing on your sight lines and lanes. If you're looking, and I was talking the other day about this, is with these guys, you got to think I'm going pitcher to second base. And if it's a slider that hangs up there, I can pull it. Fastballs, though, you're going to roll over it if they're in. Stay through that one. There it is. But yeah, it's weird. They want you, with that action of going, down and into you. They want you to roll over some stuff, and they're going to keep trying to come in. So you chase pitches. They're going to, be foul balls, pull, or break your foot. So keep your hands in close, and you're trying to hit, stay through it and redirect it up the middle.
Alfaro checks his swing. He did not go.
I thought DJ Rayburn gave a signal that he did.
Looked like he was about to ring him up, and then
he checked down.
DJ went to an appeal. So it's 2-2 on Jorge Alfaro, leading off the third. And he strikes out on a fastball at the top of the zone, 1 away. By the way, good to hear from Jemai. Rode up with Jemai earlier today to get another look at the fastball.
Yeah, that's the pitch too. He might have been sitting back a little bit on the slider right there, but when you get guys like that, you get that pitch outer half, that's the one you got to go at. Kind of flattens out a little bit.
Daniel Palka, the batter. So rolling with Jemai. He had to drop off his rental car in Fort Myers, so I gave him a lift. He also had an electric car for the last 3 weeks.
He did. It is a little interesting. The electric cars are, had to go to a turbocharger station.
So that's like the supercharger.
30 minutes, right?
He was explaining all this to me. Yeah.
It's not 30 minutes.
Really?
Mine went a little longer.
How long? How much longer?
I mean, I had to. Well, last night I did it, and then I realized it only went to 80%, and then you got to move it on the screen. Man, I searched about 5 minutes trying to figure that one out.
Really?
And then there's another 20 minutes this morning to figure it out to get 100%. So false advertising.
2-2 on Palka.
But it's okay.
And with 100%, you can for sure make it here, 2-hour drive on all 100%, right?
Yeah, I think I got to like 31, 32%. So
Palka grounds one fair the opposite way with 2 strikes. Runs it down near the ball attendant. And Daniel Palka's got a 1-out double here in the 3rd.
Yeah, as a lefty too, against these side armors, you know, the ball's going to go away from you with the fastballs. That's a great job right there. That pitch is up. And just the bad path to get to it. In his first at bat, he kept fouling off balls down the left field line. Almost fair. Gets that pitch up and out. Does a good job of staying on top of it and shooting the line.
And everyone is safe down the left field line.
Thank goodness.
Who was involved in the play.
Yeah, if you got hurt by that one, that'd be in trouble. It's like a ground ball.
Yeah. Narciso Crook, the batter. Yeah, you had liked Palka's swings and fouls his first time, to your point. Kept that one fair.
Yeah, especially a guy like, you know, Palka. He loves, I mean, he's swinging hard. But when you get to 2 strikes, that's okay. Like early in the counts, it's your at bat. But once you get to 2 strikes, and this is something that probably that Alex Cora has been talking about, is now it's compete, right? You don't have your opportunity, and some people will disagree with this in the game of always take your best swing. I'm not a big believer in it. I believe you got to battle, try to put the ball in play, not just weak contact. Try to put the ball in play with hard contact.
Crook lifts it to center. Edmundo Sosa circles. There's 2 outs, and Palka stays put.
And I think that's one of the things that people, you know, hard contact is not hard swings all the time. You know, sometimes it's just a nice, easy swing where you're just redirecting it too, because these guys have such good spin on it. Sosa, man, he got behind that thing. He was ready to fire. Palka was like, nope, I'm not going to even test it.
Sosa's smiling about it. We told you he is learning the outfield here in spring training. Known for his work on the infield. 27-year-old from Panama. Christian Costa, the batter. Phillies, by the way, they're reportedly still poking around for a right-hand hitting outfielder for a backup role. So they're trying out Sosa to see if he can add that type of versatility to his game. Costa on the ground to first. Hoskins a sliding stop. And the inning is over. Palka stranded after his double. We're through 2.5 in Clearwater.
Now for all games, visit redsox.com/tickets to purchase your tickets today.
Nice day in Clearwater. Here at Baycare Ballpark, home of the Phillies in spring training. Red Sox fans in attendance.
This is a sold-out crowd.
This is awesome.
Yeah, standing room. I mean, it's a big league spring training game right here.
3rd inning, 1-1. Sox and Phillies tied, and Nick Pivetta back to work. He's faced 7. He has retired 6. 4 of them by strikeout. And the only blemish is the ball that was crushed by Rhys Hoskins for a 1-out solo home run in the 1st. This is Max McDowell, the catcher, non-roster invite. One is taken on a fastball up. Fouled back, 2-2.
Yeah, good movement on that pitch. Got in on McDowell right there. Wow. On 2-1, you don't want to get beat. And he got beat right there.
So now a 2-2 and a fastball at 94.
Good job going back to that. When you see a guy on your 2-1 get beat by the fastball, you want to make him make the adjustments. sometimes you throw some off speed, it goes right into the barrel.
As a hitter in that spot, what would your confidence level have been that another fastball was coming, knowing you had a swing like that?
I mean, you never know. I mean, some guys just stay in their routines. I mean, some pitchers just get into their routines, and some pitchers are good about, and catchers too, calling the game the right way and saying, hey, if you're late, show me that you're not going to be late. We got it. There it is, DJ. Good work.
The batter called time. Thank you, DJ Rayburn. Ahead of a 3-2 from Nick Pivetta. Eventually popped up back in our direction. We are a little bit left of home plate. Top level here amid this sold-out crowd. On a line to center. Allen on the move into the gap, and he can't get it. McDowell motors towards second and will stop there. The catcher holds up with a leadoff double.
Wow, I thought that was easily 3.
That was the conversation McDowell was having with Daniel Palka at the second base bag.
Yeah, stayed back enough there and just drove it into that center field. The wind kind of took it away from Allen. He thought he had it the whole way, but that wind's pushing hard to right. And as a righty, that ball naturally has a little bit of tail going that way and just right past the outreach of Allen. I thought that was an easily triple.
Instead of double, now to the 9th spot, Cody Roberts, the DH. Spent last year mostly in Double-A in the Orioles organization.
Yeah, you always got to realize when the catcher's up, though. What you think's going to be a triple, the catcher might not get there. Save the legs.
How would you rate Jason Varitek's speed as a player?
Early. Athlete.
There we go.
Varitek was a tremendous athlete. Just didn't have the wheels. I mean, cost so many games. His knees.
1-2.
I'll tell you what, he played through some of the pain. I mean, being his teammate, I sat behind him on the bus. It was remarkable. Some of the games he played in. He should not have played in a lot of games, but he muscled through it. It was unbelievable.
This one past Alfaro. McDowell now gets to third safely.
Man, that was close. Ball ricocheted pretty hard back to Alfaro there. Good job of staying with the play, being prepared, ready to throw. Those little things too for me are the big ones, right? Like some guys just give up on plays. Got a catcher running. That had some serious action on it. But gets by him, and look, he is ready to fire, knowing that the runner's slow, going from second to third.
Infield in. On a 2-2 to Roberts. In the air, right field, well struck. Crook goes back to the track. That ball is gone. 2-run shot the opposite way for Cody Roberts. And the Phillies climb back in front off Pivetta. We had a visit pregame from a Phillies legend in the booth and said you might see some home runs today.
Yeah, Charlie Manuel is by the booth, but just a short stroke right there. Fastball up, that ball cuts, but he got on top of that. You saw a lot of swing and misses at that because it was above the barrel. But that's a good job by Roberts, staying short to that ball and just allowing that, that heater and that little bit of that cutter. It like cuts a little bit to dictate the power.
Back to the top, Bryson Stott struck out his first time on 94 in that first inning from Pivetta.
Yeah, and one thing about Pivetta too, you look at the pitch count right now. We're back to the top. In the third inning, pitch count's gotten up. It's commanded that strike zone a lot more.
Alex Cora's talked about Pivetta here in the spring and has said, I think it's more about consistency and preparation going into games. Said just be consistent, do the same thing over and over again because stuff-wise, we like it. Two and two on Stott. In the air left field. Ryan Fitzgerald creeps in for the first out. Brings up Rhys Hoskins. I can't imagine what it was like sitting behind Jason Varitek on those bus rides and just seeing, like you said, the wear and tear.
Yeah, there were some days just walking on the bus, just sitting down, and then he'd have all of his binders, scouting out the next opposition on the flight. I mean, he was always at work. I mean, it was fun to watch him. I mean, he was always the most prepared guy, and the role he's in is just perfect because he was doing it as a catcher, and before guys had all those binders and doing all the work to try to see how to pitch guys. He was always great at that. I mean, I was on the plane going back, walking by him, circling, the cold zones, the hot zones, just having a really good game plan. And being a game planner now, he's in the perfect role.
He is similar in how he is now on flights too, right?
I don't get to go to the front now anymore. I've realized in this role that I'm doing now, we go to the back, deservedly so in a lot of ways. So I'll have to ask him about that.
Hoskins rolls it to short, and Goodrum throws him out. 2 down. How many binders were we talking when he was a player, like that he would have spread out around him?
It was I mean, he had the bag full of a bunch of binders, and I mean, luckily now the technology is so much more advanced that you don't need the binders. You can have you can have all the information sent to you. So hopefully he just has a computer and all the information sent. Maybe an iPad that you can kind of circle some things on, but whatever your method of how you do it and how you get your information and come up with a game plan, maybe he still loves doing the binders.
2 down for Nick Castellanos here in the third, facing Pivetta for the second time. Pivetta struck out Castellanos with a fastball back in the first.
Yeah, Castellanos, I mean, saw what he did in Cincinnati and the way he hit there, and Chicago a little bit, but Philadelphia is meant, like, that ballpark is meant for him too.
He got 5 years, $100 million. This is year 2. Last year in OPS below 700. We told you just 13 home runs. After 21, that 34 home run season and a Silver Slugger. One, two. Struck him out. Pivetta fans him again. A fastball with some more cut. But Roberts with a home run, and the Phillies lead after 3.
We never can expect what's going to
They're now available. Visit redsox.com/groups to learn more. 4th inning, Delco's Cheesesteaks here in Clearwater, Florida. Taste of Philadelphia.
We were that close to getting those before the game too.
Do you regret not getting them?
I do regret it.
We do have time to change that.
We do. I don't know if I can go down there within the 2 minutes to get this cheesesteak and get back up here.
What if we talk to our boy Felipe?
Felipe needs to be on the headset too.
Yeah.
If he's not on the headset, we're lost.
Then we don't read about hospitality packages.
Then we lose our promos for our great sponsors,
yeah.
And then we are in deep trouble.
4th inning, Ben Bowden, the pride of Lynn, Massachusetts, who went to Lynn English, steps onto the mound, faces Ryan Fitzgerald. Felipe is our stage manager, by the way, for the folks who haven't met him yet. He's doing a great job. Bowden deals.
Oh,
Fitzgerald hammers it. Here you go, Uke.
Fitzy! Oh my God.
Oh, that is crushed.
Circle those bases, Fitzy. Did that hit the safety harbor spot?
Oh, man.
I couldn't tell if it hit that sign and then came down.
105 miles an hour off the bat, 419 feet for Fitzy.
Attaboy, Fitzy.
Going left on left, too.
Gotta love that right there. Haven't seen a hit from Fitzy all spring.
We saw him pregame down in the dugout.
Man, I think it hit that.
The safety harbor sign unsafe.
No. Uh-oh.
And now Ronaldo Hernandez sends one into absolute foul ball orbit.
Oh, wow. Clear. Yeah, Charlie Manuel's getting so excited at this game right now. He doesn't care if it's on the opposition or not. He loves homers.
He came by in full uniform and poked his head inside the booth to say hello to you.
He's West Virginia. My mom's a West Virginian. I don't think he even knows that, though. But what a beauty.
I could listen to him talk for a week straight.
Charlie's a beauty. Yeah, Larry Boa's right next to him. It's a little bit of baseball wisdom there in that dugout.
A little bit.
And former teammate Mike Calitri, the bench coach there.
3-1. He's down, and Hernandez works a walk. Hit by a pitch his first time, and so he's on for the second time today.
There's Charlie and Larry. Yeah, Charlie was there for those years I was talking about. They had some. Ooh, that lineup was special. Utley, Howard, Pat Burrell, Shane Victorino, Aaron Rowan. Pretty good.
Pat Burrell's a NorCal guy too, right?
Yeah.
Bay Area?
Bay Area guy. The pride of Bellarmine. And then went to Miami and
former first overall pick.
Just a legend.
Nick Sogard, the batter.
Actually ran him to the airport.
Recently?
Yeah, about a month ago. He was headed to Cabo. Going to have fun. Now he's working with the Giants.
Bowden grabs the inside corner.
Man, tough one right there.
Speaking of Miami and the Hurricanes, Alex Cora was all excited about them this morning when we saw him.
Yeah, what do you think?
They got a tough one. They're the 5 seed in the Midwest region going up against the 4 seed Indiana. That's at 8:40 p.m. So Alex Cora will be back home in no time, ready to watch that.
Glued and locked in. Huge Canes fan.
He doesn't miss anything.
No, he loves it.
When it comes to other sports. Sogard on the ground left side. Haley cuts it off. Stott turns it, and it's 2. 5-4-3 for Ben Bowden.
So 2 at bats from Sogard. 1 left-handed hit it through that hole. Went right back there right-handed. Unfortunately, playing right in that position.
Back to the top of the Red Sox lineup for Greg Allen. Also a switch hitter. Bowden played his college ball at Vanderbilt. Second-round pick from there in 2016 by the Rockies, where he pitched in the big leagues for Colorado 2 years ago out of their bullpen.
He's a smart kid.
My boy's wicked smart.
He is smart. Vandy, what a baseball powerhouse for, man, how long has that gone back now?
For a New England guy in Tim Corbin, who leads that program.
And they also, they have a bunch of New England guys,
always,
right? Yaz.
Yep. Always. a recruiting powerhouse.
I would go after pitchers from the Northeast. Not as much wear and tear.
You think so?
At younger ages, I wouldn't.
On a hop to short,
Ooh.
Guthrie backhands, plants, fires, and gets Allen in plenty of time. Fitzy goes yard, and the Sox trail by 1 now in the 4th.
To win the ultimate all-star fan experience. Restrictions apply. See rules and vote at worldbaseballclassic.com/bestplays.
We're at the spring training home of the National League champion Philadelphia Phillies, who lead the Sox by 1 now thanks to Ryan Fitzgerald. Cut into that deficit with a titanic home run. Up near, around, or off of that advertisement on the light tower.
Very good. You didn't say it like I did.
Open for interpretation.
That one.
Yeah, that one. Here's Edmundo Sosa against Nick Pivetta, who's working in the 4th. We've been training our cameras out in bullpen land to see when Brian Bayo's getting ready. He will pitch behind Pivetta at some point this afternoon. Inside. Bayo watch.
I see what you did there. I see you working.
You've got the remotes working. Line drive, left field base hit. Sosa reaches out at that and tugs it softly into left for a base hit. You got all sorts of remotes over there.
Yeah, I got a lot of remote. I mean, what game do you want to watch? Fortunately, ours it's freezing a little bit, so
we have so many screens up here.
So
Count them up: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 monitors in some way around us.
Yeah, a little top spin. Well, that was the replay from the last out. Greg Allen, little top spin, good play.
There's Dalton Guthrie, who made that play at short. And he chops one to the same spot. Nico Goodrum goes the short way. The turn.
Wow.
Not in time. Nick Sogard nearly turned that into 2 off a feed from Nico Goodrum.
Yeah, Sogard, I mean, you watch him play out there. I mean, to me, he does the little things, and that's the eye-opener for me personally. Good at bats. You know, gets a little chopper here. Nico does a good job of setting his feet and just quick turn and just barely beats it at first.
Sogard, a draft pick of the Rays 4 years ago out of Loyola Marymount, came over in that trade.
Yeah, a lot of guys aren't going to even attempt to turn it. The fact that he was ready, prepared to turn that shows a lot about his ability to play that middle infield.
Pitch count at 71 for Nick Pivetta facing Jim Haley. Ball and a strike. Fastball at 91.
Finally figured out how to turn off the TVs.
On the ground left side foul. Trial and error with the remotes.
One remote hits one. It kept turning the one off, but turning the other one off. But then I have to go grab the other remote, and it will directly turn off the one.
I think so many people can relate to that.
I'll tell you.
You want to turn on your TV
That's why
and your cable box with one click of the button.
Just have one TV in a room, as my wife says. You don't need 3 TVs here. I said, yes, I do for football season.
What do you have on your 3 TVs for football? Like, do you have Red Zone?
No, I'm not a big Red Zone guy. I said that earlier. It's Bengals always.
Okay.
And then
family-related matters.
But no more.
Alfaro with a dart, and he throws out Dalton Guthrie.
That's a close one right there. Let's see if they review that. Spring training, they might not.
Alex Cora has said Jorge Alfaro has a cannon.
Yeah, good footwork there. Got himself in a good throwing position, and yeah, thank goodness they didn't go to replay there. I think I have him safe. What do you got?
Out. Always out.
Always out. Out.
Had it all the way.
Well, hey, they didn't review it. And I knew that this coaching staff would not review it. After being with Kevin Long and Calitri and Rod Thompson, they're like, you know what? Speed up the game. Spring training.
3-2. Popped up.
Oh, this is right
Back
on us.
in our direction.
Mike. Oh, and Mookie Betts just dropped the ball.
And Bryce Harper to the loose ball.
With a hot dog. Come on, Mookie. Yeah, see? I'm safe. Even from up here, originally. Safe.
That misses, and it's ball 4. Pivetta with a long scowl in. Issues a walk here with 2 outs in the 4th to Jim Haley.
Gotta have it. Spring training. We're bagging up here.
I thought we might have a chance to make that play, honestly.
Yeah, the wind. That'd have been a blind one, too, kind of.
Yeah.
That was great.
Weston Wilson, the batter. First pitch swinging. Pops up into shallow right center. Allen and Crook approach. Greg Allen's got it. Inning over for Nick Pivetta, who is through 4 here in Clearwater.
NESSandBets.com is your one-stop shop for articles, analysis, and podcasts. For the latest odds and advice, your best bet is NESSandBets.com.
Packed house on the concourse here in Clearwater, Florida. Nick Pivetta through 4 innings, right around 80 pitches. New arm for the Phillies is Jake Jewell, 29-year-old from Oklahoma, who has pitched parts of 3 years in the big leagues, including a couple of seasons ago working for the Cubs out of their bullpen. 2, 3, and 4 for the Red Sox, starting with Nico Goodrum. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to first. Kevin Youkilis, Jabari Webster, Mike Monaco, our entire crew with you from Baycare Ballpark.
It's a pretty good changeup right there. Got some little bit of run and a little drop on it. Yeah, it's short arm action. That's what sells it too.
87, that's firm.
Yeah, it's one of those where you got to read it out of the hand. If you don't read it out of the hand, you're gonna get some bad swings.
On the ground to second. Stott scoops and throws out Goodrum for the first out of the 5th. Phillies, of course, without Bryce Harper. All they've said with him coming off November Tommy John surgery is that they expect him back before the All-Star break. We'll see if he plays any right field or if it's DH only for Harper, who of course had the sensational postseason for the Phillies.
Yeah, that home run was so, oh man. It was 2-1 the game and he hit the 2-run homer.
One of 6 home runs he had in the postseason and 13 extra base hits.
You know, that's why the Phillies went out and got him. Got that big contract.
Which now, the way some contracts have gone, it's looking like pretty good money for him.
No one's talking about it.
Jorge Alfaro takes a strike from Jewell. Phillies made some moves pitching wise as well. Matt Strahm they signed, former Red Sox reliever. They traded for Gregory Soto as well, an all-star. They've got a great young pitching prospect as well, Andrew Painter, who was pushing for a spot maybe on opening day for him. But he's got a sprained elbow. That's been some of the news here with the Phillies in camp. Alfaro rolls the single up the middle. 2-strike hit for Alfaro. And the second time he's been on in 5 innings.
Yeah, and watching the at bat against Goodrun, when you saw Jewell throwing that changeup, the way he throws that changeup that has good run on it and good drop on it, he's going to throw it to righties too. And right there, good job by Alfaro to stay through it. Right back up the middle. Good bat path.
So Alfaro's on with 1 out for Daniel Palka, with the Sox down a run in the 5th. Palka a walk and then a double on a swing Uke loved. This one hits Palka. He wears it on a slider off the kneecap. There's 2 on.
Yeah, big on base percentage day for Palka there. Is his knee or elbow?
I thought knee. But this is a new ballpark and a new vantage point for me.
Looks like he just stuck up it. You're right. Knee. I thought he just stuck up his elbow guard.
I did too on real time. And
yeah, real time. Yeah.
I went to the monitor. There's
so
a delay.
Good. So good.
Here's Narciso Crook. Slices one to first. Hoskins got it, and he doubles off Alfaro. And the inning is over. We are halfway through in Clearwater. Massachusetts is launched with sports betting, and in NESN we look to educate the sports fan on informed betting. Here's our NESN sports betting team. On 60 to watch Red Sox games, recaps, highlights, on-demand shows, and more. Download the NESN 360 app and log in with your TV provider to start streaming now. A reminder, tomorrow's Red Sox game against the Pirates, that's back on NESN, and then Tuesday's game against the Orioles, that's exclusively on NESN 360. So you want to make sure you have it. Nick Pavetta's back out for the bottom of the 5th. Probably wouldn't expect him to go this full inning, but a little more work at least for Pavetta, right around 80 pitches. Eight, 9, and 1 for the Phillies. Max McDowell doubled to lead off the 3rd inning his first time. You wouldn't expect Brian Bayo, of course, to come in during the middle of an inning, so presumably Bayo would have the 6th. It will be his spring training debut.
Yeah, I think the first pitch was a slider too. It just registered as a changeup, just spiked it, went back to it, made a good adjustment on that pitch.
1-1. That's off speed as well. We were talking about injuries for the Phillies last inning. Joely Rodriguez was the big news, unfortunately, for the Red Sox yesterday. Alex Cora said this morning it's the oblique area. He left the game. Alex Cora said sore this morning. They're getting imaging tomorrow, so at that point they will know more about their left-handed reliever acquired in the offseason. But Alex Cora said it does look like an injured list type of situation, unfortunately. McDowell walks to lead off the 5th. And that'll do it for Nick Pavetta. So he gets into the mid-80s with his pitch count. And Alex Cora comes to take the baseball for Nick Pavetta. Exits with the Sox down 3-2. Pavetta getting his work in inside of 2 weeks until opening day. Xfinity.
Yeah, Nick Pavetta today with 5 strikeouts. Predominantly on the heaters. Up in the zone there, a little cut action. Another fastball away that cuts. Just staying above the barrel. And Castellanos getting them swinging.
The next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. So 4+ innings, mid-80s with the pitch total. And now Brendan Salucci takes over after the leadoff walk. Salucci faces the 9-man in the Phillies lineup, Cody Roberts, who went the opposite way off Pivetta for a 2-run home run.
Oh, good.
Salucci throws it past Palka.
I think that was a balk.
It is. So McDowell can amble on over to second. Salucci, a Philadelphia native. High school in Philly before he went to Tulane for college. Red Sox drafted him in the 12th round in 2019.
Oh, the green wave.
Yeah. You a big NOLA guy? New Orleans?
I love New Orleans. Great time. Wasn't a fan of playing in Tulane, though. I think we lost every game in my college career. 12.
Really? Same conference?
Same conference. Conference USA back in the day was ugly.
Can't keep track of the conferences now.
Oh, yeah. Cincinnati has moved into like 5 different conferences in like 20 years. But yeah, Tulane, good baseball school.
Salucci deals. And it's ball 4. 4-pitch walk. Roberts is on. Back-to-back walks for the Phillies to start this inning. How do you feel about the Big 12?
Exciting. I mean, the Bearcats have been trying to get into a big conference for a long time, and now they are in. And it sounds like there's going to be some additions. It's going to get a little wild here with the NCAA and all these conferences, so look out. There might not be a Pac-12 down the road.
Runner takes out for third.
Wow.
Salucci wasn't looking at him, and Max McDowell swipes the bag.
I mean, that was great base running right there. Step off. There you go. So there's the time. But yeah, a lot of times pitchers getting tendencies. You're out there, second base. Third base is probably, I think third base is a lot easier to steal. And a lot of times you're going off the pitcher.
We've got a drive-by situation going on with these Seagulls.
Yeah, they'd be all right. Randy Johnson's not pitching.
I was close.
They're a little higher. I mean, they look lower than you think.
Oh-2 from Salucci is outside to Bryson Stott. Alfaro's throw to second.
Oh my God.
Is backed up by Nick Sogard. Roberts to second on the ball that popped away from Jorge Alfaro.
Well, you can see his arm strength right there.
Some receiving from Alfaro so far that has led to an extra bag or two.
Yeah, a little bit of an issue right there, but.
And this one gets past Alfaro on a wild pitch. No advancement either way.
Yeah, you wonder too, like trying to go from no knee down to the 1 knee down, how that affects the catcher and their receiving ability. You know, this one here, it's hard, like to turn that glove over to that side. When you have, and Tech was talking to me about that. I asked him about like teaching young, catchers how to catch, about that thumb. If you get that thumb too crooked and more pointed straight vertically down, it's hard to turn it over to get to your forehand. Had a great talk. I was like, what do you, because 8 and 10-year-olds are trying to coach like these kids how to catch. And it was just funny. He's like, I really don't have, I was like, hey, listen, I know. I was like, what is like just some words of wisdom?
This was recently.
This was yesterday.
Okay.
And he gave some good pointers of like, listen, this is what I like versus this is what I don't like. But he said, and I literally said, is it really just like, hey, just try to catch the ball? And he's like, yeah, you just keep it simple at that young age. And as they get older, that's when you can start working on a little bit more of, the advancement at the catching level. But it was just funny just sitting there talking. I got some good pointers from him. Because everyone back home thinks I'm an expert at every position.
That misses from Salucci, not by much. And a full count. You are an expert, certainly at some positions.
Ooh. Always learning, though.
3-2. Outside. 3 straight walks. The Phillies have them loaded. Dave Bush visits.
Yeah, that was the one thing. It makes a lot of sense if, like, you even just put your hand out and you have your thumb. If your thumb starts moving pointed straight down, you can just feel how hard it is to turn the glove over to go to your forehand. I mean, to your backhand, it just moves across. But just talking about it, and I was like, yeah, because I tell when I tell young kids like how to catch, it's the windshield wiper. So you have your glove out and you go left to right with the windshield wiper. And he was
You're
like,
saying non-catching position.
Yeah. So just in general, the catching motion of how you catch a ball, bring a lot of those similarities. He said that's a great way of saying it just to catchers that are young.
Well, the bases are loaded here for the Phillies with the Red Sox down a run in the 5th, and Rhys Hoskins is the batter. First pitch swinging, and he pops one up onto the outfield grass and right.
Infield fly.
In effect, Nick Sogard the grab anyway for the first out.
Yeah, that's an important part too. And that's tricky too when you have infield in, or you're playing double play depth and stuff like that. One of the keys as an infielder on that infield fly rule is run to the spot as fast as you can and try to get underneath it so they call it. If you're moving and running, they're not going to call it. So as an infielder, get to that spot as quick as you can so they call that.
Sogard did, and now Nick Castellanos.
It is one of the interesting plays because it is at the discretion of the umpire.
And it's a misnomer.
Right. And it's really more of the ball in that outfield grass, just barely in.
Number back to Salucci. He goes to the plate, and they'll say
foul ball.
It was a foul ball first.
Yeah, Castellanos knew right away because his foot just got smoked.
Nothing in 2 on Castellanos. Salucci deals inside. Three straight walks, then the infield fly pop, and now the 1-2. Up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Is the headband for the pitch com, or is it just a headband?
I think it's for style and for Moss. 2-2 in the air. Center field well struck. Allen retreats, battles the wind, and that ball drops in right center. McDowell scores. Roberts right behind him. Stott on his heels, and it's a bases clearing 3-run triple for Nick Castellanos. Right up into the wind in center.
What happened? Oh, the ball got stuck under. That's an interesting call right there, because you're supposed to go get the ball. Like, maybe there's ground rules here that are different, but you got to make an attempt to go get the ball. But interesting play right there.
So it's 2 runs that score. It's 5-2. Stott is at third. Castellanos back to second. Red Sox save a run out of that, and now Edmundo Sosa 1-1.
Yeah, that screwed me up. I got this bar in front of me, and I thought Allen had a beat on that ball. Next thing I know, it's about 20 feet to his right. He got turned around a little bit, did the 360. That is not a fun feeling in the outfield. The only reason I'm telling you that is because I've probably done that.
Yeah.
Start doing the 360. Next thing, with the wind blowing, it just took it.
That misses. 3-1. Flags are blowing to right. So that one looked like it was straightaway center, maybe a chance for a grand slam, and then that thing kept going toward the gap in right center.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to have a chance to get out, just the height in the wind of today, but definitely the sac fly.
Fourth walk of the inning, they're loaded again, and Alex Cora sprints out. He'll make a move. Well, 2-run double in the end for Nick Castellanos. Salucci exits. It's 5-2. Red Sox trying to limit the damage in the fifth.
This is how legends.
Toward late March in spring training for the Red Sox as they get closer to opening day in Major League Baseball. They're playing the Phillies today, down by 3, bases loaded, 1 out. And the flamethrower, Luis Guerrero, Red Sox prospect coming up through the system, who can get up toward 100. He's into the game for Alex Cora and Dave Bush. They'll face Dalton Guthrie, shortstop for the Phillies in the 5 spot. He's popped to third and rolled into a 6-4 fielder's choice. First pitch is gas up high from Guerrero at 97.
Try at the corner.
Cut and a miss. Guerrero's got a splitter as well. 1-1. Fastball again. Some bumps and bruises back there for Jorge Alfaro today. Welcome back.
Yeah, coming up with the 97 with the ricochet. Luckily, the technology in those helmets has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
To absorb a little bit of it, but it's the chin. When you get hit on that chin area, that's the danger part.
1-2. Struck him out. Guerrero fans Dalton Guthrie for out number 2.
Well, first one got a little way and then came back with those fastballs, and then good split right there. You know, you don't want to split up in the zone like that, but I'll tell you what, when you get that movement on it horizontally in, not easy for a righty.
And then 98 to start out Jim Haley.
Man, Guerrero is not messing around.
Told you he is fun to watch. Uncorks another heater.
He's got that nice, easy delivery. I'm just kidding. I mean, he is bringing it. When you're facing guys like this, sometimes you start speeding up yourself in the batter's box. You got to slow down.
This one goes off the bat of Haley. And it's 1-2.
I couldn't tell if it hit the bat or hit him, but he's like check swat.
You can tell we're not used to broadcasting games from this ballpark.
Let's see. Oh yeah, got it on the hands. Wow.
And now Guerrero strikes him out with a disgusting splitter, and he leaves him loaded. Welcome to the ball game, Luis Guerrero. Couple of Ks.
In order for small businesses.
Sure, courtesy of the Philly fanatic, Uke. That's how we come back here to Clearwater.
Gotta love it. Fire them dogs. Yeah, he had a little hard time firing the dogs at the third base side. The wind got caught up in it. But he is launching to right field. Smart. Oh, wait, that one went way back.
Would you have stolen the Philly Fanatics card?
Oh, 100%.
In pregame warmups.
100%. If he ever left me the ATV or the four-wheeler, whatever you want to call it, I'm taking that bad boy. Yeah, we always had fun with the Philly Fanatic.
You kind of have to, right?
Oh, he's great.
It's like a bully. Like you have to.
Fanatic's great.
Yeah.
Bloopers pretty good. Wally. Don't forget Wally and Tassie.
You and Wally get along?
Wally, it's not what you think.
That was really good. That is a deep cut.
I still love that. That's one of my favorite commercials.
Oh, Big Papi. Christian Koss leads off against Jacob Hernandez, who comes over the top with a fastball for a strike. Takes over on the mound for the Phillies, up 3 on the Sox. 6, 7, and 8 for Alex Cora and the Red Sox. Was he among your funniest teammates? The teammates you enjoyed the most?
David was up there. David was a great teammate. I mean, there were some funny moments. I think my favorite was when he didn't know somebody's name.
Somewhat common, right?
It was great. I mean, it was just kind of a laughing joke, and then somebody once put, like, I don't know if it was Wake or somebody put every single name of every player in his hat. It's pretty good.
In Ortiz's hat?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Koss rolls one past the mound to second, and it kicks away from Bryson Stott. So Christian Koss is on for the Red Sox to begin the 6th. Did he know your name?
That'd be a good guy. So the funny thing is David wouldn't know your full name sometimes. It wouldn't be that he wouldn't know your name. But if he'd be like if you're like, hey, what's Pedroia's first name? Like early on, he'd be like, Petey. You might not know Dustin, but he knew the Petey thing, right? And so he might know me as Uke. He might not know my first name was Kevin. But yeah, I think he knew my name because pretty much I hit in front of him, you know, a few years, and so when I came up to bat, they were saying my name. So I hopefully he knew it, but no, it was just a running joke, like some young players that come up and stuff, but it didn't matter if he didn't know your name or not. He would treat you, just, if you were a superstar or not, he'd always treat every player the same.
He might have known the name Fitzy.
Ooh.
If Ryan Fitzgerald were a teammate.
Oh yeah, he would just know it's Fitzy. Definitely wouldn't know Ryan.
One to Fitzy. Other favorite teammates of yours? Let's go down the funniest path. Like,
I'll tell you, Sean Casey's one of the best storytellers. I mean, when you get to play with Sean Casey for a season, I mean, it is beautiful. I mean, just a great storyteller. He's really good on MLB Network, but just an overall amazing guy.
Fitzgerald in the air, center field.
Oh man,
Sosa backs up and has room.
Not today. Great base running there by Koss,
who takes second.
Yeah, Koss is one of those players too you watch over time. He plays the game, very hard, goes about the right way, and does the little thing. Recognizing that it's a deep fly ball, going to hang up there in the wind. No need to go halfway on that. If you have that opportunity where you can go take it, because now you're on second base with 1 out, giving yourself, a chance to get in scoring position. I love that. Base running is such a big deal. And the key is you have to go through those cues in your head when you're on first base. If this happens, what do I do?
Ronaldo Hernandez, the batter, 0-1. Slices it foul. Christian Koss last year in Double-A. 17 home runs, 84 RBIs, his first time at that level. 25-year-old who Alex Cora at times in camp here has had some good things to say about. Said he's a good player and he's a leader too. They do want to see some better pitch selection from him.
Yeah, there's always something to work on. I think that's the beauty of this game is if you honestly think that whatever season, even if you had your best season of your life, there's a maintenance level there to maintain that, to get to that the next season. You got to keep getting a little bit better each year, because the league will figure out and pitch you a certain way. And for me, it's like, what's your weakness? Work on that a little bit while maintaining your strength. Some guys, what they do is they only try to work on their weakness and get away from their strengths. You got to keep working on the things you do well, but little by little try to improve that weakness.
I loved listening to your stories. Sean Casey caliber, I might say, at dinner last night. We had the Brain Trust there with Jemai and Stevie D and Brad Foe and Alex Spear and company about when you trained in the offseason, and that was more the physical side of what you guys were trying to do to get better out in Arizona.
Yeah, I actually am a firm believer of a lot of the stuff that we talk about in the swing paths and stuff like that. People are trying to change the mechanics. I'm a firm believer that why are you having those mechanics and what's weak about your body and strengthening and doing it in the weight room to offset those deficiencies. I really think that if you sit in the cage over and over and over and try to change all these things, it gets very difficult. I'm a firm believer in getting the body in the right frame of mind. If you have a weakness in your body that's putting you in a bad spot, I think that's what you got to attack just as much as trying to worry about a mechanic issue.
Brian Bayo, by the way, his spring training debut coming in the next half inning. Ronaldo Hernandez just walked, so there's 2 on with 1 out for Nick Sogard against Jacob Hernandez in the 6th. So you would train out there at API.
Yeah, it was Athletes Performance back then. Now it's Exos.
And Marshawn Lynch would be there.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. The beast mode on the squats. Oh, my goodness.
You told us last night, pound for pound, the strongest guy there.
Oh, hands. It was unbelievable. I mean, he was pound for pound. I mean, he was just doing stuff. And I'd ask one of the strength coach, Luke, that was training these guys, and this was to get ready for the combine. I mean, he was like, it's incredible what this guy can do.
Sogard takes high 2-1.
Yeah, and thank God they didn't hand him the ball in the Super Bowl. I was in shock, because if you watched that game and saw what he was doing, I mean, they couldn't. I mean, it was 5 yards here, 5 yards there. I mean, next thing you know, they go back to pass. I still remember my seat. I still remember watching it, and I still remember I literally was stunned.
You were in disbelief.
Like Medusa got me. I was frozen like a statue. Did that just happen? I thought for sure. I'm here, they're going to hand it off to Marshawn, and they just can't tackle him.
This dude is literally named Beast Mode.
Beast Mode. Eating Skittles.
Fouled back.
I still think that's my favorite, though. He scores a touchdown and has the Skittles.
Oh, yeah.
Because his mom used to get Skittles or something if he scored touchdowns. Some crazy story.
Yeah, I don't know the backstory on it. I just know that fits with everything he's done.
What a beauty.
When he would steal the equipment cart at Cal,
he would have definitely stole the Philly Fanatic cart. That is a good story too.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the YouTube video Marshawn Lynch Playtime, of my youth, it was one of my favorite videos I would watch probably once a month. That dude is hilarious.
Oh, and how about that interview?
Yeah.
What was
every interview?
Every interview.
2 aboard. And the pitch. Sogard stays alive again.
Good fight. Yeah, and this is why it's important when you go up to bat in these situations. Runners in scoring position, a lot of times guys go up there, they're like, I got to get the run in. I'm a firm believer that have a good at bat. Just battle in there, the best of your ability. First time out. There we go. Foul off some pitches, because you never know, because you foul off those tough pitches, you're just hoping that the pitcher comes back and makes a mistake and you capitalize.
This is the 7th pitch of the AB. And Sogard takes. Snap throw is low.
Oh, wow.
Hoskins picked it. Did not apply the tag on Ronaldo Hernandez, but he saved danger.
Great play there by McDowell. Recognizing he's too off too far, and same with Rhys Hoskins. Coming in from behind. I mean, he vacated his position before, he didn't even care if the hitter hit it.
8th pitch is ball 4. Heck of a plate appearance by Sogard. They are loaded as the lineup flips over back to the top to Greg Allen.
That was actually a really interesting play as a former first baseman. I'm a firm believer you cannot leave you cannot leave and vacate before the pitches in the zone. You can start moving towards home plate, because then you're taking a quicker angle and getting closer, but he left right away.
So premeditated play, right?
It was definitely a play that he has a signal that he either gives to the catcher vice versa gives it to him, that I'm going to back pick right here.
(1-0) to Allen. That's down as well. 2-0.
And as a hitter right here, 2-0. Runners in scoring position, 1 out. Staying within yourself, not throwing strikes here the past 2. So got to maintain yourself and get that pitch up in the zone, drive it out. There it is.
Allen strikes it well in the air to right center, tailing back toward the wall, and that ball is gone. It's a grand slam for Greg Allen, and the Red Sox vault in front in the 6th. We told you there would be home runs.
Yeah, 2-0, got a pitch out over the plate. That's where you want it. Just trying to drive the ball to the middle of the field because you're trying to get the base runners in. Even better when you do something like this where the ball just keeps carrying out of the park. I mean, off the bat, maybe no win, that's in the gap, but wow, great job right there to maintain, you know, his composure through that bat, not getting over, you know, antsy in those first 2 pitches, swinging at balls, and then capitalizes on a 2-0 fastball out over the dish.
Rides it right out with the breeze blowing that way. 100 miles an hour off the bat for Greg Allen to hit a grand slam. And he chases Jacob Hernandez from this game. Red Sox have the lead in the 6th inning after some slammage from Greg Allen.
Imagine your day and Sunday night at 11:30 because the party never ends on Dirty Water TV.
Time now for our high-strength steel play presented by your New England Chevy dealers.
Well, down 5-2, bases loaded. Greg Allen gets a 2-0 fastball out over the plate, and smart hitting. Use the wind to your advantage. Drive it out.
Grand slam for Greg Allen with that adventure on the Nick Castellanos fly ball in center in that same vicinity earlier. And now he clobbers one.
It's the best part of this game. You know, you have a bad read, you make a mistake, something happens. You have a chance to redeem yourself with the bat or again later in the game with the glove. Just got to move on.
New pitcher is Jordy Martinez with 1 out for the Red Sox. Up a run now in the 6th. Nico Goodrum, the batter. 0 for 3, a strikeout and a couple of ground outs. If you weren't with us earlier, when we got out of the car this morning here at the ballpark, it was in the low 50s. Now we've got
a gate issue.
Left field? Yes,
yeah,
left field.
Gate. Of course, it's the cheesesteaks. Unbelievable.
I love seeing the advertisements at spring training ballparks. Ballparks that in some cases double as minor league ballparks, as is the case here.
Yeah, the minor league ballparks are a lot of fun. You know, family fun too. Get to watch a lot of good ball players make their way up.
You got a good life in the minors stories from the early days or the late days?
On camera or off camera?
Things that are safe to say, please. I would like you to do your full allotment of games this year.
Yes. No. Yeah, I think the purity of being in the minor leagues and how much how little you make. It's such a you got to love the game. You know, you got to go out there and love it. It's a grind. It's 144 in what, five months and change. And not a lot of off days, but I mean, there's just some crazy stories. Are usually like Oneonta back in the day. That was a tough one. The hotel we stayed in. Mine had a few cockroaches.
Oh yeah,
but
low A ball, Midwest League. We were outside of Cleveland. The Lake County Captains. I forget the name of the town. Staying at a Red Roof Inn, bedbugs. Our entire team had to make other arrangements.
That's a rough one.
Our first baseman, 6'6", he dealt with bedbugs.
Yeah, that's yeah, the minor leagues is wild. It's a wild ride, but it builds a lot of character. So when you get to the major leagues, it's an easy ride.
Jorge Alfaro fouls off another. I picked up Anderson Espinosa, Red Sox prospect. Diehards will remember him at the airport when he got traded from the Red Sox to the San Diego Padres for Drew Pomeranz.
Wow. On the same flight? Or you had to go pick him
No, that
up?
was part of my duties as one of the team broadcasters.
I love that.
Make the airport run at times when guys get traded.
I did not know that's
or
what
cut or sent up or sent down.
Little did you know going into this business that's what you were going to do.
Chauffeur. Alfaro strikes out. McDowell hangs on to it, and it's out number 2.
Yeah, just blew that heater by him right there.
Brings up Daniel Palka, 8th Red Sox hitter of the inning, and he takes strike 1 from Martinez. Yeah, some great minor league cities and ballparks around the country and fan bases.
Well, I think, you know, one of the best movies of all time, Bull Durham, shows a lot. I mean, there was a lot of things spot on about that movie. The one that always stands out is the rain delay. Like they go out there and turn on the sprinklers, right? And they need a day, right? They go out there, they're all together, you know, having fun, kind of, you know, not doing what they're supposed to do, but to get that day off. I mean, I don't know how many times you're praying for rain.
One of my common occurrences would be going into the clubhouse and a player sees you walk in and they just think that you're the meteorologist because you work as a broadcaster or for the team or whatever it is. Palka pops this one up, foul ground outside of third, and it drops down foul and allows us to continue storytelling time. And everyone asks you right away, hey, what's the forecast today? How we looking? We gonna get this in? It's like, guys, I don't know. I have a weather app on my phone as well.
I'll tell you what, if you want to, I joke around about this, but ask baseball players when they can look around at clouds and see all that. Yeah, this foul ball got interesting here. I can't tell if he just lost in the sun at the last minute.
Runner goes. McDowell's throw isn't dark. That is perfect, and he throws out Nico Goodrum. And now storytelling time is over in the 6th.
There you go.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
In Clearwater, Florida, it is time to get serious because Brian Bayo is on the mound for the Red Sox in his spring training debut. After about a month ago, he dealt with some arm tightness. At the time, he missed around a week, then got back to work, and the Red Sox have been cautious with him. But now he's ready to go. He has thrown some live BPs. He has done his work behind the scenes, behind closed doors, so to speak. And here we go for the first time since we saw him with such a great finish to his rookie season.
Yeah, the finish was great. The first 7 appearances were kind of rough in a way for probably up to his abilities, and the way he can pitch. He wasn't pounding the strike zone as much as he should, and that comes a lot of times when you're starting to face guys and big names and you start thinking, oh man, if I throw it over the plate, these guys are going to crush it. You got to believe in your stuff, and that's what he did. He's got the fastball, the changeup, and the slider. It's more of a sink. He also has the 4-seam that he can run up there, but good velocity, good movement, and that's the ability that he needs to keep going at and utilizing those pitches and staying within that strike zone to the best of his abilities.
Starts out with strike 1 at the knees
anchor
to Weston Wilson.
96.
Comes back with a breaking ball, goes to the slider there to Wilson. Alex Cora said today he is very important to our present and our future. And he gets ahead here with 96 again to make it 1-2 on Wilson.
There with that velocity and that movement, he fouls that ball off behind him, his back right foot.
Bayo, the 23-year-old, deals, and he strikes out Wilson on a beautiful changeup. Welcome back, Brian Bayo.
Yeah, this is one of his best pitches too, the changeup. Used about 24% of the time last year, but good depth on that thing. Almost plays like a split.
Max McDowell. You think Brian Bayo is ready to go? Boy, he looks locked in, focused, excited. Always has that swagger about him when he's on the mound. 1-1.
Yeah, when he just has to, fill that zone up. If he can get that command going, work the ball out a little bit, work it in, especially to righties. Ooh, good pitch right there.
96 mile an hour sinker, didn't miss by much. 2-1 the count on McDowell in the 8th spot for the Phillies. Bayo deals. Cut and a miss. 2-2 on a fastball riding in on the hands.
Yeah, and McDowell's not even close to that pitch. I mean, that is above the barrel. And that's by him. Let's see what he goes with here after that.
2-2. Bounced in.
Looked like he went to the changeup. Felt good with it on the last one. I thought he might go back to that fastball again the way he beat him in on it. But, when you got a devastating changeup like that, you're going to get a lot of bad swings.
So when change 2-2. Now the payoff is strike 3 called. Oh, he just dots a change on the black, and it's back-to-back Ks.
He said, I didn't like the feel of the first one where I bounced it in there, but don't worry. I can throw another one of those for a strike. Yeah, just freezing him right there. Not where you want it.
Now gets Cody Roberts to ground the first pitch he sees to second, and Brian Bayo, welcome back. 1-2-3 with a pair of punch outs in the 6th.
I screwed up. I got us T-Mobile home internet.
Dear, run with us. And by buyatoyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit buyatoyota.com. In Clearwater, Florida, top of the 7th inning on the way. The Red Sox up by 1. And they just welcome back Brian Bayo. 1-2-3 inning. Couple of Ks. Good to see you, Brian.
Man, he looked good right there. Just attacking the strike zone. Even the 3-2, I mean, that 3-2 changeup is not in the spot you want to throw a changeup to a righty. But the hitter was just probably like, I cannot believe you just threw me a 3-2 changeup. I'm geared up for fastball. And
after throwing 158 feet.
I'm telling you, he just froze him. Just frozen. He was probably expecting 97 on the hands. Changeup out over the plate to get the Statue of Liberty.
Brian Bayo all smiles beside Dave Bush.
Heck yeah.
Alex Cora, by the way, said this will probably be Bayo's only spring training outing that'll come on a big league field. The other ones will be on minor league fields just because of where the Red Sox are at. It's inside of 2 weeks until opening day. And Alex Cora said we don't have that many innings in big league spring training games to go around.
Yeah, and sometimes it's actually, it's good, too, to go on those back fields because, some of the younger players, they know who you are. And they're going to come up there swinging and attacking.
Daniel Palka back in there after the caught stealing ended his last trip to the plate.
Yeah, so that is the positive where you get some of those backfields, guys are amped up, they're excited to face you. The negative to it sometimes is guys start swinging at pitches that major league guys would not be swinging at. That's the difference when you get up the level from AAA to the major leagues is the ability to control the strike zone. Guys laying off good pitchers' pitches, getting into good hitters' counts.
And to be clear, he faced 7, 8, 9 in a Phillies lineup that was 3 non-roster invites. As Palka rolls it to second, Bryson Stott throws him out 1 away. But still, good to see him healthy and back out there and with the same stuff that we remembered him having in September.
That's all that matters. Doesn't matter who the batters he's facing. It's his command. It's the ball movement. It's figuring out, the pitch sequencing that he's looking to have, whether it be a righty or lefty. And then last but not least, it's just health. Making sure he's healthy for the long run of this season.
Narciso Crook, the batter. Alex Cora said this morning we weren't concerned when Bayo reported the tightness in his arm, but we had to be cautious. And Alex Cora said it was early enough that we weren't going to push him on it. And he said Bello did an outstanding job just in his recovery, rehab, whatever you want to call it. Cora saw him throw a live BP the other day, and Cora said he looks very close to what he was at the end of the year in the regular season last year. And, well, we would agree. Crooks skies this one.
Oh, wow.
Near home plate. New catcher's Jack Conley, and he's got it. 2 down. What do you expect from Bello this year?
I mean, just judging by what his stuff is, you know, he has a lot of upside for many different reasons, but I think for me it's the mannerisms. He wants the ball. He goes out there. He's got confidence. He's got swag to him. I mean, last year you saw a little bit of it. I thought, you know, in his first couple of starts that I did, it was, to me, it was just a little intimidated, like in some ways, the way he was pitching. Not in the way like he took the mound. It's just how he pitched. But then he just settled in and just got more confident each start. And I just think he's going to just keep getting better as he goes. I mean, he's just got, when you're around him and you watch him, I mean, he's got this confidence about him that he knows that he could be here. I mean, you don't want to put the comparison of Pedro, but he had a little bit of that Pedro, like,
yeah,
the way he walks around. And he's got that changeup like Pedro.
Koss strikes out here against a fired up Hans Kraus. And Brian Bello back to work after this.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
And the quest for the cup is on. Stay tuned to NESN for the first round game coverage as well as pre and post game coverage throughout the playoffs. Quest for the cup is powered by Xfinity.
That guy is ready to go down the home stretch, a month away from the playoffs starting in the NHL. Brian Bello's back to work, second inning for him. 1, 2, 3 in the 6, 2 strikeouts for the 23-year-old from the Dominican who faces Cam Cannon, former Red Sox draft pick. And Bello comes in with 95 for ball 1.
Is that one of the quickest to reach the playoffs? Like,
historically good, yeah.
It's unbelievable. What a season.
Bello winds and deals. Comes back with a strike on 94.
You gotta love that there too. Working that outside corner with the sinker. Can follow it up going in if he wants.
Gets a weak roller to third. Koss on the move. 4 up, 4 down for Bello. You know, the Red Sox certainly feel like Brian Bello, yeah, there was some soft contact against him, so maybe the results could have even been better than what they were for Bello last year. And of course it was a great finish. Those 5 September starts, it was a 1.65 ERA. It was 27 in the third, and it was 27 strikeouts.
Yeah, to me it was the walks. Right, yeah, you get some soft contact. You know, guys are on base with soft contact. Little, you know, little bloop here, find a little hole. He cut down on the walks, and it just totally changed everything.
And gave up 1 home run in 2 months. He's gone slider, slider, and now spikes one in.
Yeah, it just looks like he overthrew that changeup.
He's facing Carlos De La Cruz, who came in off the bench for the Phillies last inning. 1-2 on the ground, foul.
As you can see there, the pitch before that was like 89. Just try to throw a little too hard. Right there, eased up a little bit, got back in the mechanical spot where he can throw that changeup for a strike.
Fastball on the ground to second and gobbled up. Nick Sogard throws out De La Cruz. 97 that time from Bello. And it's 5 up, 5 down, 2 strikeouts, 3 ground ball outs, and that's what we've come to expect from him.
Yeah, when you got that sinker and you got that changeup as well as that slider, you're going to get a lot of ground balls. You know, he does have the four-seamer that he can bring it up above the barrel too. But when you got that 96 in sync, play with that all day.
Brian Bayo deals ball 1 to Pedro Martinez.
Uh-oh.
The DH now into the game. One-0. There's a fastball.
Man, spotted
beautifully. I mean, that's 97 with that kind of movement.
Exactly. And then he's going to feed off that changeup on that pitch. When you can get that fastball away, that changeup plays up even better to the outside. Went to the slider, try to go back door. But that's what you got. You got options. I mean, when you can paint that 96 away, you know, even if, and then if hitters start trying to leak out over, you try to front door it, try to get him free, to freeze.
And back to a changeup on a 1-2.
But it all goes back to getting that first strike. You know, when he can throw that 96 away, get, you know, 0-1, he's got so many things he can do after that with the way his ball can run.
1-2. Bayo went to a fastball. It's going to be a question too, how good is the breaking ball? Whether it's slider or he was toying around with that curveball last year under the guidance of some of the veterans on the staff. How good is that pitch for him? We'll see.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer if he can just spot up that sinker, you know, like you just did there in, right, showing in, hey, now the hitter's like, oh man, he might come in too, and I got to cover 96 away. To me, it's the fastball changeup. There you go, the slider right there.
Went to a back foot slider, and he gets a strikeout of Martinez. 6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts for Brian Bayo.
This is the 2023 Nissan Pathfinder and Rogue.
Yeah, and he's looked great so far. I mean, it's been utilized the 96 to sink, but as you can see, striking out 2 batters with the changeup. 1 swinging, 1 looking, and then followed up with a slider down and in to get the check swing. Very impressive, commanding the ball very well, and keeping that pitch count very low in 2 innings.
So you were saying that the breaking balls are not even as important to you because of how good the fastball is, and if he can go outside, inside with it like he did to a lefty in that at bat, and then play the changeup off of it, you like that plenty good.
I'm a firm, like, I think when you have 96 in your back pocket with movement and sink, the ability to command it away and in and play off that with your changeup and your slider, I get it that you might want to have a curveball in there, but for me, that curveball is really just like a pitch that is a get me over to a lefty early, a dumper. Just dump it in. You know, a lefty's looking, hey, I'm trying to hit this 96. You know, it's going to move away from me. I'm going to try to pepper it to left center field. You know, for me, unless it's like that dumper, stay with those 3. You know, when you start getting that 4th one in, it's a lot more, you know, it's a lot more preparation too. I like what he has, that 3-pitch mix.
He looks so comfortable here in his spring training debut and just really happy to be back out there.
I mean, he has a positive persona. Like every time you walk around him and stuff like that, it's like starry-eyed, just having fun. Like, I love it, you know. There's something, you know, there's some guys you just look at and they have something inside that just their presence when they're walking around that you're like, there's something special about this player.
I said this earlier in spring training. I wonder if there's not enough buzz around him. We'll take it if he's a little under the radar, like nationally around the league. I think he could be in for a really big season at 23 years old. Pitch clock violation here on the pitcher, I believe. Yeah, it's now 1-2.
There you go. That boy Fitzy.
For whatever that opinion is worth.
Well, I think it's always better to fly under the radar than to have all the hype around you, especially for young players. In today's game, a lot of guys get hyped up a little too much, in my opinion, before they do anything in the major league level. And it's kind of unfair in a lot of ways. I mean, I'm trying to think of the player in Seattle. Starts with a K. I always forget this, but
Jared Kelenic.
Jared Kelenic is the one. Thank you. He got hyped up so quickly, and it just was so unfair.
Fitzgerald strikes out 1 away here in the 8th. Yeah, and so it's a perfect place to be. But man, there's so much to like about Brian Bayo.
Yeah, I agree.
Stuff, persona, way he goes about his business, the way he wanted to learn last year. By all accounts, he talked about it as well. The difference in the first part of last year for him compared to the second part was his preparation. He felt like that he had a better routine and knew how to prepare better at the major league level.
Yeah, the routine is the key. When you set yourself up with good routines, and it's like brushing your teeth in the morning. You know, every time you wake up, you know, you go and brush your teeth. The same thing with routines. You're setting yourself up that you don't feel out of whack. You know, some guys, when they don't set up good routines, they get outside. They're like, oh, I got to go to the cage, or I got to go do that. And they forget. When you know where you need to be every single time, hey, I got a bullpen, I got to be there at this time, I got to go throw and play, you know, catch at this time, I got to go to the training room, I got to weight lift it. Set up those routines and stay consistent as possible. It makes playing 162 games a lot easier.
Stick around, by the way. Brian Bayo will chat with Jabai shortly.
He's not coming to the booth.
No.
No players in the booth
You
today.
know what? It was a long walk, and we're in the shade. It's a little chilly. He said he doesn't like that Euclid guy.
Yeah. It's okay. Just pitchers. Pitchers and position players.
Hernandez to center. And in the sun, he flies out. 2 down.
That sounded great off the bat right there, but not the way you want to hit the ball today is center field. It's going to get knocked down, especially a righty.
Down to
Nick right center field. Right center field.
That's where you got to hit it, you're saying?
Yeah, that was perfect the way he did it. Straight center, man, it's going to get knocked down.
Would you think about that in game, like the way the wind's going?
No, it's hard enough to hit. I mean, you knew it. You knew in your back, you know, like you had in your, you know, the back of your mind after you hit a ball, you're like, oh, come on. You would try to guide it. Like you're trying to, you know, come on, get through the wind.
Go ball.
Yeah, but hitting's hard enough. You got to stay consistent. You guys, and especially if you see the wind blowing in, that's where you got to change your way of, you know, that's especially when you're not trying to go deep. You know, you're trying to put together good at bats, hit line drives. It's the Wrigley in April. Just knocks down balls all day long.
Fist bumps all around for Brian Bayo. 3-0's a strike to Sogard. It's a lot of velocity between those two.
Ooh, man, Guerrero was throwing mud.
Is mud fast?
Mud is fast. It's hard. Mud.
Like sludge.
Maybe it goes back to walking in mud's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know where the reference is, but
I always think of stuck in the mud.
Mud.
3-2. Sogard strikes out. Conley hangs onto it. 1-2-3 for Lehman in the 8th. And we go to the home half of the 8th in Clearwater. Let's hear from Brian Bayo soon.
Back here in Clearwater, Florida, Red Sox on top of the Phillies, 6-5 here in the home half of the 8th inning, and happy to be joined now by Brian Bayo after he made his spring training debut. And you had been on the shelf for a little bit. How do you describe what it felt like to be out there and competing again?
¿Cómo se siente estar allá afuera en el montículo de nuevo compitiendo?
Ah, súper contento y muy bien, se siente. Ya estaba loco ya por estar de regreso al fuego.
Yeah, no, it feels really good. I've been itching to be out here, waiting for this moment to finally be out on the mound.
I should have said Davison Perez from Red Sox Media Relations doing the translations for us as well. And we're about 2 weeks left in spring training, kind of running out of innings now. Alex Cora said the rest of your work will probably come on the backfield in spring training. What are you hoping to accomplish during the rest of your outings here this spring?
Ya que se está acabando el entrenamiento, el manager dijo que el resto de tu trabajo va a ser ahí en JetBlue Park, en los play de atrás. ¿Qué tú esperas ¿En qué tú esperas seguir trabajando?
Nada, estamos ready, sí, tuve esa conversación y estamos ready para eso. Estamos trabajando en lo mismo, seguir trabajando en mi rompiente y todo eso, la zona detrás y atacar el bateador, sí.
Yeah, we had that conversation, and I'm just going to keep working on breaking pitches and mastering some of my other pitches as well as we keep going here.
You had that experience last year, making your major league debut. You worked with Pedro Martinez during the offseason as well. What has your preparation been like to get yourself ready to try and make this club this spring training?
Sí, obviamente ha trabajado con Pedro, se ha hablado mucho de eso. ¿Qué tú has hecho en términos de prepararte para este entrenamiento y luego la temporada?
Nada, lo mismo del año pasado y alguna cosita más extra que estaba fallando también. La estoy ejecutando en esta nueva temporada para tener mejor año, Dios mediante. Y, ¿ya?
Yeah, just working on a lot of the same things. There were a lot of mistakes that I made last year that I'm working on improving on this year, and yeah, just keeping on working.
With that, I mean, you had 5 starts in September. It felt like we were getting a glimpse into what your future can be like. How do you hope to build upon what you did last year at the big league level?
¿Cómo tú esperas seguir creciendo después de el septiembre que tuviste el año pasado?
Súper, te esperamos tener buen año y competir, seguir compitiendo y todo eso.
Yeah, just looking to keep improving on that, and just hoping to have a really good year this year.
Yeah, we hope for the same. I appreciate the time. Thank you for stopping with us and talking with us for a little bit, Brian. Looking forward to seeing you out there this year.
All right.
Gracias.
Gracias, mi pana, right, my guy? Mi pana. Gracias to mi pana, Brian Bales. Send it back over to you, Mike.
Thank you.
Tu pana, mi pana as well. Brian Bayo.
Wow, look at you.
Fly out to left field, hauled in by Tyler Dearden just into the game. He said he was excited to be out there, and I think you could see that.
Yeah, he's definitely pumped. Look, I mean, he's always smiling, having a good time. And after that performance, deservedly so.
Said that he hopes to work on some of his other pitches. It sounded like he mentioned breaking ball first, something he wants to focus on in his time behind the scenes until the next time he's out game action like this, presumably then in a big league game.
Yeah, I think the slider is something, just making sure, he can put it in the spots he wants it to be in. You don't necessarily want to always throw it for a strike. I mean, there's times you want to throw it for a strike, but most of the time that slider, what you're trying to do is you want it in and out of the zone where the hitter thinks it's a strike and they're going to swing at it or commit to it. Because a lot of guys, with him, they're going to have to, the righties especially, they're going to cheat. They're going to try to get that 96, down and in. And when you have that ability to get that slider out of hand and they don't see it, that's where you get the bad swings and you get, weak contact or the check swing strikeouts.
A strikeout here for Ryan Brazier, gets Fergus to strike out. Steven Scott completes the K. After Brazier got a fly out to left, he's into the game obviously here in the 8th inning, getting his work in.
Yeah, we're talking about sliders that aren't supposed to be in the zone. Brazier just perfectly right on cue does it. Starts out right down the middle and then just drops out.
It's one of the changes that Ryan Brazier thought he found late in the year last year, was throwing his slider more, especially in 2-strike counts.
Yeah, it's one of those things that sometimes it can get away from you. You just don't have a good feel for it. There's nothing worse as a pitcher is when you don't have a feel for your off-speed pitches.
Brazier gets a pop-up here towards short. Ravello is the new shortstop, and he's got it. 1-2-3 for Brazier, following Bayo in the 8th inning.
With Mortgage ASAP from Salem 5 Bank.
9th inning in Clearwater, Florida. Red Sox spring training. They are at the home of the Phillies. Baycare Ballpark, 6-5 Red Sox to the 9th. Kevin Euclid, Jemai Webster, Mike Monaco with you. Our producer, Greg Sebastio. Our director, Ben Johnston. Great working with this crew here a couple hours away from Fort Myers.
Yeah, it's a little Sunday stroll up to Clearwater.
We pass members of the Red Sox beat. Red Sox writers on the drive up here, and then also got passed by them.
We won't name any names.
No. Jemai was taking great pleasure in this, and then was prank phone calling some of the writers in the passenger seat as I drove. Corey Rozier, the batter, leading off for the Red Sox. Jemai, man, he's got some pranks up his sleeve.
Jemai the jokester. Getting after it. I mean, speaking of getting after it, what was the thing he got last night? That
a Pizookie, I think it's called. I think that's what it's called.
He didn't even share that.
No. Alex Spear bought him a Pizookie.
And he didn't even share it.
No.
He didn't even offer it.
Not even offer.
Yeah. Like most people are like, hey man, here,
hey,
I
you
got
want to
dessert for the
like,
table.
You want a chocolate chip out of this?
He like literally put both arms around it. Put up a
I thought he was
gonna wall.
I thought he was gonna hug the waitress.
Yeah, to any fans out there, if you want to get Jemai a gift, get him a Pizookie.
Rozier up the middle into center field, a base hit. Did you know what a Miami Vice was?
Yeah, I knew exactly what a Miami Vice was.
I never ordered that before.
Yeah, yeah.
They couldn't make it for him.
Yeah, they only had. Yeah, they didn't have one of the two. It's a strawberry daiquiri and a pina colada.
So Jemai had to settle for one of the two.
And then it's also in Hawaii. It's called like a lava flow.
Oh, okay. Still haven't had it.
I'll have you guys get taken care of at some point. Don't worry. But the Pizookie situation, you guys didn't ask. You just watched me devour it. What am I supposed to do if I don't know if you guys want some?
Listen, a friend is always supposed to ask first. Hey, would you like some of this? Ooh.
Line shot to short off the bat of Luis Ravello, the 19-year-olds. And it kicked away at short from Martinez. Pedro Martinez.
Wonder if that knuckled a little bit. Can't tell if he just took his eye off that or some. You know, sometimes when you square it up like that, let's see if it knuckles. Nah, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but when you square up a baseball perfectly like that, sometimes, especially at the shortstop, you get a little bit of a knuckleball action.
So it brings up Steven Scott. That wasn't the most inspiring offer from Jemai.
Yeah, he got mad at us. Yeah. Don't worry. I didn't want any of that Pizookie, buddy. I went no dessert.
So Jemai dropped off his rental car in Fort Myers today. And then I was driving both of us up here. And we're going to go to the Tampa airport afterward. Jemai, you should see Jemai's suitcases, man.
He's rolling.
I mean, in total fairness to him, he's been here for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, he needed it.
A Pizookie, by the way, for those that are maybe wondering, because I didn't know what it was yesterday. Yeah. It's like a cookie cake.
It's a skillet. Yeah, it's the chocolate chip cookie skillet with ice cream. But I guess a Pizookie is a better name for it.
I agree.
It's like a pie cookie. That's why it's in the skillet. And you get that aspect of it, but then you get the nice warm cookie. You get the vanilla ice cream, and man, it's heavenly. You know, it's too good not to share. I'm sorry that you guys missed out, but I'll be back. We'll get after it again.
We just got to order something that he doesn't like. Yeah, what don't you like, Jemai? What dessert?
I mean, when it comes to food, there's not really much that I won't test, but I don't really like Brussels sprouts.
Whoa, controversial take.
I don't think I've ever had Brussels sprouts for dessert, but chalk that
one. Steven Scott walks, they're loaded.
All right, note to self.
Yeah,
order Brussels sprouts for dessert. Oh, no, hey, hold on. Controversial take by Jemai. Nachos. No nachos.
Yeah, Jemai wasn't taking in on the nachos.
He said no nachos.
Calamari, yes. Nachos, no.
He said no on nachos.
Pizookie, yes. Hey, if anyone can spell Pizookie, let us know. Tweet it at us. We'll step aside.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
The dugout here, Ryan, another spring training outing for you. They say spring training is for the pitchers, so how ready do you feel for the regular season just a couple weeks away?
Feeling pretty good. You know, every outing I feel like I'm getting a little bit better mechanically, stuff-wise. You know, as I think every pitcher pretty much is at this point in spring training, just, you know, itching to get to the season.
As you were building up, the first few outings were really solid. Last one, this is kind of a bounce back for you. How well did you feel about how well you threw it out there today?
Good. I felt really good. You know, even my last outing, I felt, you know, really good. Gave up some weak contact, which, you know, for spring training, it's kind of like one of those spring training at-bats. You know, you like line one out, right to somebody, and no, I've been feeling really good. It was nice to have obviously a scoreless inning today with a, you know, a punchy and some weak contact. But like I said, I'm just itching to get the season going.
Absolutely. Now you're one of the, I guess, old heads in this clubhouse now. When you think about it, you've been around for a little bit. One of just 3 real holdovers from that 2018 World Series. You, Chris, and Rafi. You probably heard the noise in the offseason. What are some of the expectations that you have for yourself?
Obviously, better year than last year, but you know, just take the ball whenever they ask me, and be in a spot where, you know, hopefully that's more often than not, and, you know, help the team get as many wins as we can.
Now, you've seen probably so many different iterations of the bullpen, but when you look to your left and right, back there to some of your pen mates this season, you added Kenley Jensen, you got Chris Martin in there, Joely when he gets back healthy at some point. You got a lot of guys that have a lot of big league experience and championship experience. What are some of the impressions that you have of some of your pen mates out there?
You know, it's always tough when new guys come into a new clubhouse, and there we go. It's always tough when new guys come into a new place, but Kenley and Chris stepped in like they've been here forever, you know, and you know, Kenley, you know, especially, he speaks up, you know, tries to help guys out. Any kind of meetings, he's always talking, and you know, mostly talking pitching, but yeah, it's huge that we got a couple of back-end pieces that can shut games down, and, you know, hopefully there'll be a lot of opportunities.
Hey, thanks for the time. I'll send it back up to you, Mike. Got a situation there on the third base side.
Yeah, thanks, Jemai. Thanks, Ryan. That's Luis Ravelo, 19-year-old minor leaguer for the Red Sox, who was on the move between second and third on a broken bat hit from Blaze Jordan, and the bat struck Ravelo.
Yeah, it struck him, but I think it was the way he... Can't tell which knee they're looking at, if the one that hit him or the one he planted on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I've seen a lot of those bats shatter and fly. I don't think I've ever seen a runner get hit with a bat like that.
I haven't either.
Seen fielders, you know, pitchers, something, but I've never seen a runner.
You know, my first thought went to, I hope the broken part of the bat, the exposed wood, didn't hurt him in any way. And then, yeah, just the landing after getting hit and stumbling with it. You hope for the best for Luis Ravelo. 19-year-old from the Dominican Republic, signed by the Red Sox as an international free agent a little over 2 years ago. Guy the Red Sox really liked. They gave him a sizable signing bonus.
Yeah, let's hope that's just like a little bit of a hematoma. You don't see any blood, so hopefully it's just hit, you know, just got him in the wrong spot. Just got him around that knee, though. That is wild.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that left, looked like the left one. But he went down right away, and he wasn't even moving. Like, he just stood. Yeah, he stayed there.
And then he army crawled to third.
Yeah, I guess it's the left one because it looked like he was going on the right. Yeah, I think it hits right on the left knee, right there. Holy cow, that's wild.
You hope it just ends up being some sort of bruise.
Yeah, just around that kneecap, a little bruise, and that's scary. Yeah, same thing. You think that, you know, the broken part of it, it's sharp.
Red Sox did get a run on the play. They lead by 2, 9th inning. Nobody out still. Bases still loaded. Nick Decker, the batter, checks the swing.
You watch this game long enough, you're going to see something new that you've not seen ever.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of broken bats anymore like that either. I don't know if it's because the technology in the wood's a little bit better.
He got totally sawed off too,
But
right
that
on the
one,
handle.
I got him good.
1-1 from Kilgore to Decker's up high. And by the way, not to diminish the interview Ryan Brazier was kind enough to give with Jemai. Sounds like he feels good for another outing like he did last time, he said, results aside. And he looked really sharp in this one. We've talked a lot about Bayo, but Brazier cruised through the 8th, fly out, strikeout on the slider, and then a pop to short.
Yeah, this is the time too where guys are just antsy. I mean, the last 2 weeks of spring training, especially the last week, guys are just ready. They're ready to go, and some guys aren't. Some guys are, you know, if they had an injury or something, they're working their way back. They need those reps. But for guys that have been healthy the whole spring, it kind of gets to the point where you're like, man, I'm just ready to go 162. Let's do it.
Up high, Kilgore walks in a run. 5-pitch walk worked by Decker. The Red Sox add on.
Yeah, that's the time the foghorn usually comes in.
Velo hobbles off. One of the Red Sox trainers, Dave Herrera, with him. Do you have a horn with you or any other noise-making device?
Don't.
Matthew Lugo, the batter, cuts through the slider. Brazier had that good finish to his season. Final 13 appearances, 12 innings, 3 earned runs, 2.25 ERA, 13 strikeouts to 2 walks. Matthew Lugo skies it to left, to the wall, and a jumping catch in left field. Wow.
Wow.
Scores a run, but a heck of a grab out there by Garrett Whitley.
I'll tell you one thing, that's the worst sac fly you could possibly have ever. Bases loaded, get a slider after missing it, drive it out. I mean, that's a home run any other day. Wynn held that up, and what an amazing catch right there. Oh, wow. Don't know if that was going to get out, though.
Agreed.
But man, right off the bat, I mean, any given day, I mean, that the wind is blowing straight in from left. I'll tell you what, that is way back. That was a great swing on a slider after missing a slider by a foot. One heck of a catch
by Garrett Whitley. For the first out of the inning. It's a strike from Kilgore to Tyler Dearden. 9-5. Sox up 4 in the top of the 9th inning. We've seen a lot of runs scored these last couple days.
Yeah, we have. Almost that 8th inning yesterday was wild. Both teams almost hit around. One batter short by the Red Sox.
Someone tweeted at you, Brussels sprouts are heinous. I think they're great, honestly.
Yeah, we do a Brussels sprouts with a
bacon
IPA chili glaze.
Oh, that sounds
a little
really
IPA
good.
in it. It's really good. Big seller.
Do you ship cross country?
We just don't have them for dessert.
Okay. I think Brussels sprouts, I've said this before, I think it's an indicator of how old you are. If you don't like them, you're less than 25. If you do like them, you're over 25.
Maybe. Also, it's how much seasoning or sauce you put on them, too.
Yeah.
I don't think Brussels sprouts straight up are really that great.
Three-two pitch.
Oh.
Hits Dearden. And that loads the bases. So it brings up Ronaldo Hernandez with the bases loaded. It's your last spring training game?
Last game, headed home. It's been a long stretch for me. I am ready to go home to see my kids and my wife, and yeah, it's been a wild ride with the WBC in between, and it's been great. A lot of baseball, but I got to take a break.
So you haven't been home in California since when?
Wow, was it?
Oh yeah, I forgot you blacked out.
Yeah, I blacked out again. I don't even know what day. Today's Sunday.
Today's Sunday, March
Sunday.
19th.
I got it.
4:04 Eastern time.
I forgot days. I forgot. It was bad.
Loaded up again, and Hernandez takes strike one.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's been 19, 20 days.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 days. 10 days home, and then back at it for opening day.
Opening day. Hernandez on the ground to short. And 6-4-3. Sox lead by 4. They'll try to finish off a spring training win.
Did you know that Charlie Moore catches more than just fish?
Red Sox spring training up by 4 to the bottom of the 9th inning. Uke, Jemai, and Mike with you upstairs as the Red Sox try to finish this one off. Rio Gomez is onto the mound for the Red Sox. Red Sox minor leaguer.
Yes, the whole crew's leaving tonight. You're taking a flight home. Jemai's taking a flight home. Myself.
And then Jemai comes back. Flies down Saturday.
Got it. New crew.
I believe it'll be Dave, TC, and Lou. I think.
Got it. We've got a good crew here.
We sure do.
Interchangeable.
Blessing to be a part of it. As we go to the bottom of the 9th, Rio Gomez, as we said, he pitched for Colombia in the World Baseball Classic. His father, the late Pedro Gomez, one of the great baseball reporters. That was a special moment for Rio to be out there in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, Pedro was always a great guy. Always had a huge smile every time I saw him, said hi. Such a sad story.
When he went off the field Tuesday after pitching against Canada, he pointed up to his family. His mother waved the country's flag back at him, blew a kiss to him.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was one thing that I had too. My father passed away 3 years ago, and just for that, playing for Team Israel, and just, you know, a lot of it of what you know, playing for your heritage, right? A lot of guys might have been born here, raised here, but your ancestry goes back to something in a different country, and I'll tell you, it's truly special.
Rio's 2-2, and he's got a strikeout. You know, 6 years ago, Pedro Gomez predicted that Rio would represent Colombia the next time there was a World Baseball Classic.
That's awesome.
And sure enough, Rio went out and did that. And he got asked back in February by MLB Network how often he thinks about his late father during this baseball journey, and he said it's impossible not to. every day. It's been a dream that he had and that I've had, obviously, on my end for so many years.
Special. Yeah, a lot of it too is it's why you start playing baseball is a lot of times because of your father. You know, the game of catch. It starts with a game of catch, and you know, I think the Field of Dreams, that game and stuff, showed a lot of that, of playing catch, you know, with the Griffies. But it's truly a special moment. It's one you know never can get back. So like for me, like I love playing ball with my kids. Throwing the ball with them, it's always great.
Yeah.
Got to hold on to it because they grow so fast.
1-2 is outside from Rio Gomez. Was in Double-A last year in the Red Sox system with Portland pitching out of their bullpen. 36th round draft pick of the Red Sox in 2017. He's got back-to-back strikeouts here in the ninth inning.
Yeah, a little heater on the outer corner, right by the barrel. I think you need to get in the broadcast booth for the next WBC.
That would be fun. That'd be really fun.
Except for it might not be. Might be a little difficult with your contract.
You want to come with?
It's Fox, isn't it? It might be a little difficult.
Yeah.
Gosh, the semantics.
Package deal. I'll take you with me.
Well, you're going to have to come to Israel. Told you.
You guys clinched, right? You clinched.
So yeah, we get to move on. That was the biggest deal because it's very costly to qualify. So it was a big deal for Team Israel to advance automatically to the next one.
That's a strike from Gomez, and it's 1-2. That's awesome. What a fun last few weeks for you. Some spring training, some World Baseball Classic, some more spring training.
And in the booth with Mike Monaco.
Cut and miss, and Rio Gomez strikes out the side in the ninth inning for the Red Sox, who win at 9-5 against the Phillies.
Well, that might have been one of the longer ones we've done, but it was beautiful in the end. Got the win, got some runs. You know, we got shut out in our first game, came back strong in the next two. So Brian Bayo, great performance, and we'll just see how he bounces back from that. And I think good things are coming his way. 2
perfect innings for Bayo, 3 strikeouts after Nick Pivetta was on the bump for 4+ for the Red Sox, who got a grand slam from Greg Allen in a game that took 3 hours and 4 minutes. You, always a pleasure, my friend.
Always a pleasure. See you. I don't know when the next time we'll be together.
See you down the road.
Yes, sir.
For Kevin Youkilis and Jemai Webster, Mike Monaco saying so long. Tune in tomorrow for more spring training action as the Red Sox take on the Pirates. Don't miss first pitch tomorrow at 1 on NESN or stream it on NESN 360. Big thanks to our entire crew behind the scenes. We say so long from Clearwater, Florida.